Chapter 782. Chengfeng, thank you. Thank you for protecting me and my sister and teaching those lawless fellows a lesson. After returning to the room where they were resting, Baiyu's delicate face suddenly flushed red. She looked at Yi Chenfeng with a gentle gaze and thanked him softly. The problem is not solved yet. Both of you are poisoned. Yi Chenfeng looked at the beautiful and tall sisters and said softly, Poison. Just as Yi Chenfeng finished speaking, Bai Ziqing and her sister's expressions changed at the same time. They quickly checked their bodies. There's no need to check. This poison is colorless and odorless. With your strength, you won't be able to detect it. Yi Chenfeng said softly when he saw the two panicking ladies. Come, take these two antidotes. As for the remaining antidotes, find a reason to give them to your Bai clan. Remember, don't spread the news of you being poisoned to avoid accidents. Yi Chenfeng took out 2 detoxification pills and fed them to Bai Ziqing and Bai Ziqing before giving them another bottle of detoxification pills. Chengfeng, as you guessed, the Jiang clan is indeed in trouble. What should we do? After taking the antidotes, Bai Ziqing asked worriedly. I plan to visit the Jiang clan's founding ancestor at night and find out what he is thinking. Yi Chenfeng said slowly. Chengfeng, isn't that too dangerous? Jiang Taizu's attack power is the strongest in the Xingluo continent. If he is controlled, I'm afraid something unexpected will happen when you visit him at night. Bai Ziqing said worriedly. Jiang Taizu shouldn't be controlled, and the Jiang clan shouldn't be controlled by the mastermind. Otherwise, Jiang Yiwu would have already dealt with us and wouldn't use such despicable methods like poisoning us. All right, you two rest early. I'll inform you immediately if there's any news. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng left the two ladies' room and returned to his room to wait for the night to quiet down. Although Jiang Hong and the others had suffered a great loss and lost all face, they did not come looking for trouble with Yi Chenfeng. It was obvious that Jiang Yiwu did not want to have a direct conflict with the Bai family before he completely controlled the Jiang family. However, Jiang Yiwu wouldn't let Bai Ziqing stay in the Jiang family for long. He would even use some tricks to force them out and deal with them outside. The night fog came and covered the stars in the sky. The world was silent. Whoosh! A blurry shadow appeared in the Jiang family's old residence, which was shrouded in darkness. It moved quickly like a ghost. Where will Jiang Taizu be in seclusion? There were many restrictive spells in the Jiang family's old mansion, which prevented Yi Chenfeng from using his soul power to detect where Kong Sungchen was cultivating in seclusion. Although he couldn't find Kong Sungchen's place of seclusion, Yi Chenfeng unexpectedly discovered Grand Butler Jiang walking out of a beautiful young woman's room. He restrained his aura and quietly followed him. What? Grand Butler Jiang, who was reminiscing, had just walked to his courtyard and activated the restrictive spells in the courtyard when he suddenly felt an unfamiliar aura behind him. All the hair on his body stood up, and he was about to roar. However, just as his roar reached his throat, the dual polarity ancient heavenly water entered his mouth and froze his throat, causing his roar to be stuck in his throat. In the next moment, the Tao intent of the 5 elements and the Tao intent of life and death gushed out of Yi Chenfeng's body and transformed into a huge Tao in 10 hand. It ruthlessly slammed onto Grand Butler Jiang's body, shattering his body's defenses and causing him to fall to the ground. More than half of his bones were shattered, and he instantly lost his ability to fight. It's him, Grand Butler Jiang, who was lying in a pool of blood and couldn't make a sound, tried his best to lift his head. When he saw Yi Chenfeng clearly with the help of the faint moonlight, his eyes suddenly widened. He never expected that Yi Chenfeng would be so daring. After teaching Jiang Hong a lesson, he still dared to launch a sneak attack on him. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to provoke a war between my Jiang clan and your Bai clan? With his throat sealed by the dual polarity ancient heavenly water, Grand Butler Jiang could only send a voice transmission to warn Yi Chenfeng and seek a trace of survival. However, Yi Chenfeng didn't waste time talking nonsense with Grand Butler Jiang. His body flashed slightly and appeared behind him. He pressed his right hand on Grand Butler Jiang's head and used the power of the God-Eater brain to search his soul. Fortunately, there is no soul imprint in his soul's sea. When Yi Chunfeng controlled the power of the God-Eater brain to carefully search his soul, he discovered that there was no imprint in Grand Butler Zhang's soul. He heaved a sigh of relief and increased the power of the soul search to search for Grand Butler Zhang's soul imprint. Just as I guessed, the Jiang clan was infiltrated by a mysterious faction. Jiang Taizu Kong Sungqin and Jiang clan patriarch Jiang Yixian were both injured. Jiang Yiwu, who was temporarily in charge of the Jiang clan, secretly submitted to the mysterious faction. After searching Grand Butler Zhang's soul memories, Yi Chunfeng obtained a lot of important information and confirmed some of his earlier guesses. There was a mysterious and powerful faction behind the scenes that was adding fuel to the fire. They were trying to stir up chaos in the Xingluo continent and change the structure of the Xingluo continent. This mastermind wasn't Xingluo Heaven City, but it wasn't the 8 branches divine nation either. Yi Chunfeng didn't find any evidence in Grand Butler Zhang's soul. Crack! Yi Chunfeng used the soul-devouring art and devoured Grand Butler Zhang's soul spirit beast. He twisted Grand Butler Zhang's neck and spat out the death blaze, burning Grand Butler Jiang to ashes. Yi Chunfeng killed Grand Butler Jiang because he discovered that Grand Butler Jiang and Jiang Yiwu had done too many evil things during the soul search. It wouldn't be too much to kill Grand Butler Jiang 100 times over for those things. After destroying Grand Butler Jiang's corpse, Yi Chunfeng tore open the restrictions in the courtyard. Like an elusive ghost, he quietly went to the courtyard where Jiang Taizu, Kong Sungchun, was recuperating. With the help of the space swallower bug, Yi Chunfeng silently broke through several restrictions in the courtyard and arrived at the Jiang family's backyard. He saw an extremely ordinary-looking thatched hut made of straw. When Yi Chunfeng got close to the thatched hut, he felt a mountain-like aura appear out of nowhere. It pressed down on his body like an avalanche, bending his waist and pressing his legs into the ground. What a terrifying aura! Yi Chunfeng's body continued to sink under the pressure of this aura. He hurriedly activated the divine 9 transformations transformation and unleashed a powerful physical strength to resist the mountain-like pressure. However, Yi Chunfeng was shocked by Kong Sungqin's strength. Kong Sungqin's strength was unfathomable. Kong Sungqin was still able to use his aura to pressure Yi Chunfeng even though he was injured. Senior, I have no ill intentions for suddenly visiting. I am here to treat your injuries and resolve the Jiang family's crisis. Please show yourself. Yi Chunfeng said calmly as he withstood the powerful aura pressure. I am in the hut. If you want to see me, come here yourself. An old and simple voice came from the thatched hut. All right. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and pulled his legs out of the ground. He walked with heavy steps towards the thatched hut. Restriction. When he arrived in front of the thatched hut, Yi Chunfeng felt a powerful restriction shrouding the hut. If he wanted to enter the hut, he would have to tear open the restriction. Sword Dao Intent Break. Yi Chunfeng gathered the 6th level of Sword Dao Intent on his fingertip. With a light stroke, a sharp sword ray condensed and tore open the restriction. He pushed open the door that was badly chipped and walked into the faintly glowing thatched hut. He saw Star King Kong Sungqin sitting cross-legged on a piece of 10,000 years mysterious jade. He was wearing a white star-patterned martial arts suit with his snow-white hair casually draped over his shoulders. His eyes were closed, and his aura was fused with the air. Mobile users, please browse to M. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 783. Sit. Jiang Xingqian opened his eyes, and rays of dazzling starlight shot out from them. He sized up Yi Chunfeng a few times and discovered that his temperament was natural and outstanding. His body exuded an aura of superiority. Jiang Xingqian nodded his head and pointed at an ancient tree stump in the room as he slowly said, Yi Chunfeng. Thank you, Senior. Yi Chenfeng thanked him softly and sat on the stump. Suddenly, he felt a wisp of wood spiritual qi penetrating the stump and entering his body. It made all the cells in his body active, and it was very comfortable. You're not from the Bai family, right? Kong Sungchen asked. When Yi Chenfeng came to the Jiang residence with Bai Ziqing and the others, Kong Sungchen, who had a strong soul, already knew about it, including how he humiliated Jiang Hong and killed the butler. It was also because Yi Chenfeng killed the butler that Kong Sungchen decided to meet him. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, "Yes, I'm not from the Bai family, but the Bai family has been kind to me. In order to repay the Bai family's kindness, I specially protected Ziqing and the others and came to the Jiang residence to ask for help. You're loyal and affectionate. You're very good." Kong Sungchen nodded and asked meaningfully, "But after coming to the Jiang residence, did you feel despair?" "No." Yi Chenfeng shook his head and said, "Before I came, I had already prepared for the worst. Judging from the Jiang residence's current situation, it's better than I expected. Junior, the Jiang residence's situation may be worse than what you see. Now that you've killed the butler of the Jiang residence, I'm afraid it will cause a series of unforeseen events." Kong Sungchen said indifferently, "Senior, things may not be as bad as you think. As long as you and the Jiang residents recover from your injuries, you can control the situation and turn the tide." Yi Chenfeng said, "Ah, it's easier said than done to recover." Kong Sungchen sighed softly. "Senior, if you trust me, I can help you get rid of the poison." Yi Chenfeng's powerful soul had already sensed that Kong Sungchen's injuries were not serious. The real fatal thing was the extremely stubborn poison that had invaded his bones and blood. "You can sense that I'm poisoned?" Kong Sungchen's snow-white eyebrows twitched slightly as he asked in surprise. "Not only can I sense that you're poisoned, but I can also feel that although you've been suppressing it with all your might, the poison in your blood and bone. In less than 3 months, the poison will completely explode. At that time, you'll be incurable." Yi said Kong Sungchen, "Good eyesight. Just your eyesight alone has surpassed many so-called genius doctors. However, the poison in my body was left behind by an expert who had cultivated the poison Dao insight to the 7th level. It's almost incurable." The admiration in Kong Sungchen's eyes deepened as he slowly said, "Incurable doesn't mean that there's no hope. I have a way to get rid of the poison in your body, but it's a little risky. I wonder if you're willing to take the risk and give it a try?" Yi Chenfeng asked. "What way?" Kong Sungchen's eyes lit up as he looked at Yi Chenfeng and asked, "Use the heavenly flame to refine the poison in your body." As he spoke, the death blaze heavenly flame emerged from Yi Chenfeng's palm, and the temperature in the thatched hut instantly rose. "Heavenly flame, you actually subdued a type of heavenly flame." Looking at the death blaze heavenly flame that was leaping about in Yi Chenfeng's palm like a fire spirit, Kong Sungchen's calm face couldn't help but reveal an expression of shock. Moreover, he felt that the heavenly flame that Yi Chenfeng had subdued was not an ordinary heavenly flame. It was an extremely terrifying heavenly flame that even he felt a trace of danger. "Junior, you're really surprising me more and more. Borrowing the power of the heavenly flame, there's indeed a chance to get rid of the poison. I'll leave these old bones of mine to you." Kong Sungchen revealed a rare smile as he spoke. "Senior, aren't you going to ask me how confident I am in getting rid of the poison?" Yi Chenfeng asked with a smile. "No, there's no need to ask. No matter what the result is, I can accept it." Kong Sungchen shook his head and said in a carefree manner, "If that's the case, then let's begin." Yi Chenfeng slowly stood up and said, "Thank you for your trouble." Kong Sungchen nodded and slowly turned around. He was very relieved to have his back facing Yi Chenfeng. His carefree behavior made Yi Chenfeng admire him. It also showed that he was confident in his own strength. "Senior, the process of refining the poison with the heavenly flame may be a little painful. Please bear with it." Yi Chenfeng reminded him softly, "Don't worry about refining the poison. I can still bear the pain of refining the poison." Kong Sungchen said fearlessly, "Okay." Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and controlled the death blaze heavenly flame to burn more and more fiercely. It burned the air, and there were continuous sounds of explosions. In the next moment, the death blaze heavenly flame exploded in Yi Qinfeng's palm. Under his control, it was like a big devouring mouth that directly swallowed Kong Sungchen. It went through the pores of his body and crazily drilled into his body. Instantly, Kong Sungchen's body suddenly trembled. However, there wasn't a trace of pain on his face. Even his eyebrows didn't twitch. A large amount of death blaze heavenly flame surged into Kong Sungchen's body. Immediately, under the control of Yi Qinfeng's will, it drilled into the crisscrossing meridians in Kong Sungchen's body and refined the lethal poison that had fused into his blood. As expected of a poison left behind by a 7th-level Dao inside a poison, it's really troublesome. While refining the lethal poison in Kong Sungchen's body, Yi Qinfeng's brows gradually furrowed. He noticed that the poison in Kong Sungchen's body was deeper than he expected. Moreover, the lethal poison in Kong Sungchen's body was extremely stubborn. It was rather strenuous for the death blaze heavenly flame to refine it. Looks like it's impossible to cure Jiang Taizu in one go. Yi Qinfeng silently muttered a few times in his heart. He patiently controlled the death blaze heavenly flame to continue refining the poison for Kong Sungchen. As time passed by, traces of pain gradually appeared on Kong Sungchen's cold and arrogant face. He couldn't help but clench his fists, causing his veins to bulge. Approximately 6 hours later, the sky turned bright. Yi Qinfeng withdrew the death blaze heavenly flame in Kong Sungchen's body and let out a long sigh of relief. "Senior, feel it and see how it feels." Yi Qinfeng looked at Kong Sungchen, whose forehead was covered with beads of sweat and whose complexion was slightly pale, and said softly, "Thank you. I feel that the poison in my body has been reduced by nearly half. Looks like your method is really effective." Kong Sungchen spat out a mouthful of turbid air and thanked him softly. "Senior, let's stop refining the poison here. I'll come again tonight to refine the poison and heal your injuries." Yi Qinfeng glanced at the faint light that penetrated through the window and said softly, "Thank you for your trouble." Kong Sungchen nodded and promised, "As long as you can solve the crisis of my Jiang clan, I promise that the entire Jiang clan will do everything in our power to help the Bai clan through this difficult time. I'll thank Senior on behalf of Ziqing and the others." Yi Qinfeng smiled and thanked him softly. "By the way, can you tell me your name?" Kong Sungchen took the initiative to ask for the name of a junior for the first time. "Yi Qinfeng." Yi Qinfeng didn't hide anything and said truthfully, "Qinfeng, this is the star token unique to my Jiang clan. With this token, the Jiang clan's restrictions will not affect you. You can come and go as you wish." Kong Sungchen gave the purple gold token to Yi Qinfeng. "Senior, it's almost dawn. I'll go back first." After saying that, Yi Qinfeng didn't stay for long. He put the star token into his arms and left Kong Sungchen's thatched cottage in a flash. Like an unpredictable ghost, he bypassed many checkpoints and quietly returned to the courtyard where he was resting. Mobile users, please browse to Reading. Mobile reader's homepage. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 784. Qinfeng, you're back. By Ziqing and her sister, who were worried about Yi Qinfeng's safety, felt Yi Qinfeng's aura appear in the courtyard. They immediately opened the door and walked out. Chinese greater than over equal to, "Okay, let's talk inside." Yi Qinfeng glanced at the two girls with messy hair and slightly haggard faces. They were wearing pink chiffon nightgowns that outlined their exceptionally seductive figures. He nodded lightly and followed them into the room that was filled with a faint fragrance. "Qinfeng, have you seen Jiang Taizu?" Bai Ziqing seemed to have forgotten that she was only wearing a thin nightgown, revealing a large portion of her snow-white skin as she asked expectantly. "Yes, we did. Things are better than we expected." Yi Qinfeng looked at the two women's fair skin, sexy collarbones, and alluring snow-white breasts. He felt a strange feeling in his heart, but he did not dare to look at them too much. Chengfeng, did Jiang Taizu really agree to help my Bai family tide over this crisis? Bai Ziqing grabbed onto Yi Chengfeng's arm and asked excitedly. Yes, but the prerequisite is that the Jiang clan has to overcome this crisis first. Feeling the friction between his arm and Bai Ziqing's soft chest, Yi Chengfeng's heart skipped a beat, and he nodded. Bai Ziqing and Bai Yu were both peerless beauties that were rarely seen. Under their unintentional enticement, the hot-blooded Yi Chengfeng instantly felt his mouth go dry. He was somewhat unable to resist the charm of the two ladies. After a few simple words of consolation, he quickly left. Yi Chengfeng had just returned to his room and suppressed his restless heart. Just as he was about to adjust his breathing and recover, his powerful soul sensed Jiang Yiwu and more than 10 Jiang family experts appear aggressively. Bai Ziqing, Bai Yu come out. When they arrived at the courtyard where Yi Chengfeng, Bai Ziqing, and the others were staying, Jiang Yiwu's furious voice rang out. Uncle Yiwu, what happened? Why are you so angry? Bai Ziqing and her sister, who had changed into elegant long dresses, walked out of the house. Seeing Jiang Yiwu's gloomy face and furious gaze, they asked softly, Stop pretending. Where did the head butler go? What did you do to him? Grand Steward Jiang's identity was extremely special, and he knew too many secrets. Therefore, when Grand Steward Jiang mysteriously disappeared, Jiang Yiwu immediately felt the severity of the situation. After thinking about it, he felt that the Bai family was the most suspicious. If Grand Butler Jiang's disappearance was really related to the Bai family, then the appearance of the Bai family could very well lead to a series of unforeseen events. Therefore, Jiang Yiwu had no choice but to take action in advance. He used Grand Butler Jiang's disappearance as an excuse to make a move on Bai Ziqing and the others to probe their background. Uncle Yiwu, is Steward Jiang missing? We didn't see him. Yi Chengfeng didn't tell Bai Ziqing and her sister about the matter of killing Grand Butler Jiang. Hence, they asked curiously, Bai Ziqing, I'm warning you. Don't play any more tricks. If you don't hand over the head butler, I'll take your lives. Jiang Yiwu revealed a malevolent expression and warned coldly. Jiang Yiwu, Grand Steward Jiang is really not with us. If you don't believe me, you can search. If you can find Grand Steward Jiang here, I'm willing to let you do whatever you want with me. Looking into Jiang Yiwu's ferocious eyes, Bai Ziqing's heart trembled. However, she forced herself to remain calm as she spoke. It seems like you won't be obedient if I don't teach you a lesson. Jiang Yiwu didn't believe Bai Ziqing's words. His eyes were filled with intense sternness as he ordered loudly, Capture all of them. Kill anyone who dares to resist without mercy. How dare you? Ling Yu shouted. A powerful aura was emitted from her petite body as she stood in front of everyone. Second patriarch of the Jiang family, we really don't know where Grand Steward Jiang went. However, isn't it rude of you to mobilize so many people to capture us without distinguishing between right and wrong? We are from the Bai family after all. Do you want the Bai family and the Jiang family to fall out? Furthermore, you're not the true leader of the Bai family. Before you capture us, shouldn't you ask Jiang Taizu or the Jiang family patriarch for their opinion? Yi Chengfeng slowly stepped forward and spoke in a tone that was neither arrogant nor humble. If all of you have been wrongly accused, I'll give the Bai family a satisfactory explanation. However, all of you have to surrender now. What are all of you waiting for? Take them down. Jiang Yiwu ordered loudly. I'll blow up anyone who dares to do so. Ling Yu's foot cracked the hard ground as she glared at the Jiang family's experts and warned them coldly. Combat Beast Emperor. This little girl is a combat Beast Emperor. Jiang Yiwu's eyebrows twitched as he felt the increasing soul power in Ling Yu's body. He felt that Grand Steward Jiang's mysterious disappearance had something to do with the Bai family. How dare you be so arrogant in my Jiang family's territory? Capture them. Kill anyone who dares to resist. Jiang Yiwu ordered loudly. The king of massacre and Fu Qingshan's eyes were filled with fighting spirit when they heard Jiang Yiwu's order. Once the Jiang family's experts made a move, they would immediately retaliate with their most lethal attacks. Everyone stopped. Just as both sides were about to draw their swords, a dignified and holy voice rang out. Kong Sung-chun, who was wearing a star-patterned robe and had a snow-white beard, appeared in midair. He looked like a celestial. Grand Elder. Jiang Yiwu didn't dare to be presumptuous when he saw Kong Sung-chun, who had the highest seniority in the Jiang family and was also one of the oldest in the entire Xingluo continent. He immediately hid the ferocity in his eyes and bowed respectfully. Yiwu, what's going on? Kong Sung-chun, whose face was slightly pale, exuded a dignified aura as he questioned Jiang Yiwu. Grand Elder, Grand Steward Jiang mysteriously disappeared last night. We suspect that it was done by the Bai family. Jiang Yiwu explained respectfully. You're slandering us. What does Grand Steward Jiang's disappearance have to do with the Bai family? Bai Yu said angrily. However, she was smart enough to figure out who Grand Steward Jiang's disappearance had to do with. Yiwu, do you have evidence to prove that Jiang Quan's disappearance was done by the Bai family? Kong Sung-chun questioned sternly. No. Jiang Yiwu shook his head and said, Yiwu, you're too reckless. Have you forgotten the relationship between the Jiang family and the Bai family? Cough, cough, cough. As he spoke, Kong Sung-chun's face suddenly turned red. He coughed violently, and a streak of dark red blood appeared at the corner of his mouth. Grand Elder, your injury. Jiang Yiwu panicked when he saw the blood at the corner of Kong Sung-chun's mouth. However, there was a hint of joy in his heart. Kong Sung-chun was the mainstay of the Jiang family. As long as he was alive, Jiang Yiwu would not dare to be too ambitious. It's fine. Kong Sung-chun waved his hand and said in a heavy tone, Senior, if I'm not wrong, you seem to be poisoned. Yi Chenfeng looked at Kong Sung-chun, who had suddenly appeared and was trying to put on a show. He immediately played along and asked, Yes. Kong Sung-chun nodded proudly. Senior, I know some detoxification techniques. If you trust me, I can try to detoxify you. Yi Chenfeng quickly exchanged glances with Kong Sung-chun and said, You. Kong Sung-chun frowned slightly. Jiang Yiwu also showed a hint of gloominess. He looked at Yi Chenfeng even more viciously. Senior, please trust me. With the relationship between the Bai family and the Jiang family, I will definitely not harm you, Yi Chenfeng said with full confidence. All right, the rest of you can leave. You come with me. Kong Sung-chun thought for a while and ordered in a low voice. He then left with Yi Chenfeng. Mobile users, please browse to M. Mobile reading website. This book's address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 785. Thank you, Senior, for helping us out of this predicament. Mandarin greater than Urkel. M. After following Kong Sung-chun back to the straw hut, Yi Chenfeng looked at Kong Sung-chun, who no longer looked sickly, and said softly, Sigh, I've embarrassed myself in front of you. Kong Sung-chun sighed softly and said, I really didn't expect that Yiwu would betray my Jiang clan. Ambition will make a person lose himself. It will make a person disregard everything, and it will also make a person walk on the path of destruction. Yi Chenfeng said softly. Yes. Kong Sung-chun nodded and sighed. Actually, Yiwu's cultivation talent is above Yixian's, but the reason why I chose Yixian to be the Jiang clan patriarch is because Yiwu's ambition is too great. I was afraid that he would bring disaster to the Jiang clan, but I didn't expect that he would still walk on a path of no return. My Jiang clan is also in a precarious situation because of him. Senior, who do you think is the mastermind behind the internal strife in the Xingluo continent and the attempt to overturn the power structure in the Xingluo continent? Yi Chenfeng asked. I don't know who the real mastermind is, but Xingluo Heaven City must have interfered, Kong Sung-chun said without a doubt. Senior, why are you so sure that Xingluo Heaven City is one of the masterminds? Yi Chenfeng asked. Xingluo Heaven City can be said to be the overlord of the Xingluo continent. When internal strife broke out in the Xingluo continent, they didn't do anything to stop it. This is enough to prove that they are one of the masterminds, Kong Sung-chun analyzed. Then why don't you think that they are one of the masterminds, but one of the masterminds? Yi Chenfeng continued to ask. I have lived for over 10,000 years and am too familiar with Xingluo Heaven City, whereas that person that launched a surprise attack on me and cultivated the poison Dao insight to the 7th level is absolutely not an expert from Xingluo Heaven City. Other than him, there were 2 other level 4 beast emperors with extremely terrifying strength who used demonic arts to ambush me. Both of them were not from Xingluo Sky City, so I suspect that there is more than one mastermind behind the chaos in Xingluo continent, Kong Sungchen analyzed. An expert who uses demonic arts. Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows slightly. Kong Sungchen's words confirmed some of his earlier speculations. However, he didn't tell Kong Sungchen about his encounter on the Immortal Island. After all, he still couldn't be sure that the mastermind was the Octave Divine Nation. Moreover, he was also afraid that it would bring great psychological pressure to Kong Sungchen and lead to a series of unforeseen events. Senior, let me continue to detoxify you. I think that since Senior has appeared in public today, the mastermind behind the scenes might make a move against the Jiang family in advance, Yi Chenfeng said softly. Thank you for your trouble. Kong Sungchen nodded and sat on the 10,000 years mysterious jade, allowing Yi Chenfeng to control the death blaze heavenly fire to enter his body and refine the deadly poison in his body. With last night's experience, Yi Chenfeng was able to control the death blaze heavenly fire to refine the poison in Kong Sungchen's body with ease. The hot death blaze heavenly fire flowed through Kong Sungchen's crisscrossing meridians, changing the deadly poison in his blood bit by bit. After successfully refining the deadly poison in Kong Sungchen's blood, Yi Chenfeng controlled the death blaze heavenly fire to enter Kong Sungchen's bone marrow and refine the deadly poison in his bone marrow. Refining the poison from the bone marrow was extremely dangerous, and the pain was even more intense. However, on Jiang Xingchen's aged face, there wasn't a trace of pain or worry. He was like a statue, sitting motionless on the 10,000 years mysterious jade, allowing the death blaze heavenly fire to enter his bone marrow and refine the deadly poison. When the sun set in the west, a crescent moon slowly rose into the sky. The deadly poison in Kong Sungchen's body had finally been refined by the death blaze heavenly fire. Phew! Fortunately, the poison in Senior's body has been completely refined. Yi Chenfeng let out a long sigh of relief. Thank you, Chenfeng. I will definitely repay your kindness in the future. Kong Sungchen let out a breath of turbid air and gave a rare smile as he promised. As long as Senior can help the Bai family get through this difficult time, it will be enough. Yi Chenfeng said with a smile. Kong Sungchen sighed softly and said, Sigh, with my relationship with the Mad Demon, my Jiang family naturally wouldn't stand by and do nothing when the Bai family is in trouble. But now, my Jiang family can't even protect itself, and from what I know, the Bai family won't be able to hold on for much longer. Senior, the poison in your body has been removed. If I can help you recover to your peak strength tonight and lure out the master behind Jiang Yiwu, we should be able to resolve the Jiang family's crisis in a short time. Yi Chenfeng slowly said, and if Senior can help the Bai family get through this difficult time, the alliance of your 2 families should be able to deter the mastermind. At that time, we will have time to plan a counterattack. You can really help me recover to my peak strength in a short time. Kong Sungchen widened his eyes in shock. He was very clear about his injuries. Recovering to his peak condition in a short time was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Yes, Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, If Senior trusts me, I will heal your injuries right now. Thank you for your trouble. Kong Sungchen stared deeply at Yi Chenfeng and felt that he was even more unfathomable. However, Kong Sungchen didn't doubt his intentions and slowly closed his eyes. Senior, this is a pseudo-Dao core. Take it first. Yi Chenfeng took out a pseudo-Dao core from the universe mirror and passed it to Kong Sungchen. Chenfeng, you are really surprising me more and more. Kong Sungchen knew the value of a pseudo-Dao core. He was very grateful that Yi Chenfeng gave it to him so casually. This pseudo-Dao core isn't enough to heal Senior's injuries. Yi Chenfeng smiled and took out a small ball of life essence. What a dense life essence. Shengfeng, could this be a life essence? Kong Sungchen looked at the life essence floating in Yi Chenfeng's palm with a shocked expression. Senior, you have good eyes. This is indeed a life essence. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, a pseudo-Dao core, a life essence, and the 5th level Dao intent of life that I have comprehended. I should be able to completely heal Senior's injuries before dawn. 5th level Dao intent of life. Kong Sungchen took a deep breath. The shock in his heart was even more intense. The way he looked at Yi Chenfeng was constantly changing. At this moment, he felt that Yi Chenfeng was a bottomless pit. He was shocked by the endless methods that he had. Senior, let's start healing. Looking at Kong Sungchen, who had lost his composure, Yi Chenfeng said softly, Okay. Kong Sungchen took a deep breath and suppressed the shock in his heart. He swallowed the pseudo-Dao core. In the next moment, 50 Dao patterns of life appeared on Yi Chenfeng's body and entered the life essence. They raised the life essence's spirituality to the greatest extent and merged with Kong Sungchen's body. Under the nourishment of the pseudo-Dao core, the life essence, and the 50 Dao patterns of life, Kong Sungchen's cells became active. His injuries were recovering at an extremely fast speed. Even the old injuries that he had been unable to heal showed signs of improvement. This made him very surprised. Finally, under the continuous healing of the pseudo-Dao core, the life essence, and the 50 Dao patterns of life, Kong Sungchen's injuries were completely healed when it was close to dawn. Even the old injuries in his body that had not been healed for thousands of years were healed by Yi Chenfeng. After witnessing Yi Chenfeng's heaven-defying methods, Kong Sungchen was deeply shocked. His heart could not calm down for a long time. Mobile users, please browse to Read. Mobile reading website. This book's address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 786. Senior, can you feel if your body has fully recovered? Yi Chenfeng let out a long sigh of relief and took away the 50 life Dao patterns. He looked at Kong Sungchen, whose face was flushed red, and said softly, Chinese greater than Oracle, all right, I'm completely healed. Even the chronic illness in my body has been cured by you. Kong Sungchen's emotionless face revealed a trace of excitement. With the chronic illness in his body cured, not only did Kong Sungchen regain his peak strength, he even had a chance to become a level 6 Beast Emperor. If he could break through to become a level 6 Beast Emperor, his lifespan would increase by a few thousand years, making the Jiang family even more powerful. It could be said that Yi Chenfeng's kindness to him was undoubtedly the kindness of rebirth. Senior, do you want to break through to the 6th grade Beast Emperor realm? When he was treating Kong Sungchen's injuries, Yi Chenfeng could clearly feel the vigorous soul force in his body, as well as the solid foundation of his cultivation. He did not doubt that Kong Sungchen, who was a 5th grade Beast Emperor, definitely had the ability to kill an ordinary 6th grade Beast Emperor or even a 9th grade Heavenly Beast. Even with the help of the 9 dragons Jade Annulus, he would not be able to defeat Kong Sungchen. What? You have a way to help me break through to level 6 Beast Emperor? After witnessing Yi Chenfeng's heaven-defying abilities, Jiang Xingchen firmly believed in Yi Chenfeng's methods and revealed a look of anticipation. I wonder if Senior has heard of the Ultimate Monarch Dao Pill? Yi Chenfeng asked softly. You have the Ultimate Monarch Dao Core. Kong Sungchen's snow-white eyebrows twitched as he asked excitedly. Kong Sungchen, who had lived for tens of thousands of years, had naturally heard of the Ultimate Emperor Dao Pill. He knew that the Ultimate Emperor Dao Pill was a top-grade Dao Pill, and it was also a divine pill that combat Beast Emperors yearned for even in their dreams. Not only did it contain powerful medicinal energy and Dao intent, but it also had a chance of helping combat Beast Emperors directly break through to the next realm. However, the Extreme Emperor Dao Pill was close to extinction, and the ancient books that recorded the Extreme Emperor Dao Pill were already more than 38,000 years ago. I don't have the extreme Huang Dao pill, but I do have the pill formula for it. As long as I gather all the spiritual items required to concoct the extreme Huang Dao pill, I am confident that I can concoct the extreme Huang Dao pill. After fusing with the 3 soul fragments evolved from the God-Eater brain, Yi Chunfeng obtained a large amount of precious inherited memories, including the pill formula for refining the ultimate Emperor Dao pill. Chunfeng, I wonder if you can tell me the pill formula for the extreme Huang Dao pill? I will help you gather the spirit materials needed to refine it. Kong Sungchen said excitedly, but don't worry, I won't reveal the ultimate Emperor Dao pill's formula without your permission. If I break my oath, may the heavens strike me with 5 bolts of lightning, shattering my bones and dying a horrible death. Senior, you're exaggerating. Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and said, refining the extreme Emperor Dao pill requires the ancient vine, 9-star peach, blood dragon ginseng, sky kirin fruit, yin-yang ice fire grass, 6 souls water, and a level 9 heavenly beast core. However, this junior only has the 9-star peach. Many thanks. When everything calms down, I will do my best to gather all the spiritual items required to concoct the extreme Emperor Dao pill. Kong Sungchen remembered the pill formula for the extreme Emperor Dao pill and said gratefully. Because of the existence of the extreme Emperor Dao pill, Kong Sungchen, who wanted to break through to the level 6 Beast Emperor realm, was basically tied to Yi Chunfeng's worship. Senior, let's discuss how to lure out the mastermind and catch them all in one fell swoop. Yi Chunfeng said softly. Chunfeng, I wonder if you have any good ideas? Kong Sungchen asked softly. He had completely placed Yi Chunfeng on the same level as himself. He no longer treated him as a junior and asked him first. Senior, the mastermind has injured you and Patriarch Jiang, but they have yet to make a move on the Jiang family. Obviously, they're afraid of your strength and want to wait until you are poisoned to death before making a move. Therefore, as long as you are alive, they will not take the risk to make a move on the Jiang family. Yi Chunfeng said slowly, are you saying that you want me to fake my death? The shrewd and ruthless Kong Sungchen immediately understood the meaning behind Yi Chunfeng's words. There's no need to fake your death. I think it's enough to fake your injuries. Yi Chunfeng said. Chunfeng, it's not easy to trick the mastermind. Just my unfilial grandson, Jiang Wu, is not easy to trick. Kong Sungchen took a deep breath and said, since I've thought of this method, then I'm naturally fully prepared. Yi Chunfeng withdrew a medicinal pill that was pitch black like ink from the universe mirror he carried with him and said, this medicinal pill is called the death-like pill. After consuming it, the vitality within the body will gradually vanish, unless the opponent's strength surpasses senior. Otherwise, they are utterly incapable of noticing anything wrong. On the other hand, I'll use the Death Dao Insight and Illusion Dao Insight to create an illusion. It ought to be foolproof and deceive Jiang Yiwu and the mastermind behind him. Chunfeng, what level have you comprehended the Death Dao Insight and Illusion Dao Insight to? Kong Sungchen asked. I've comprehended the Illusion Dao Insight to the 6th level and the Death Dao Insight to the 5th level. Yi Chunfeng spoke without concealing anything. Genius. Chunfeng, you're the young man with the highest natural talent I've ever seen. I really want to know which great power fostered such a monstrous genius like you. Kong Sungchen had never praised a person like this before, but when it came to praising Yi Chunfeng, he felt slightly at a loss for words. No matter if it was Yi Chunfeng's natural talent or heaven-defying methods, they had all far exceeded his imagination, and it caused him to develop an intense curiosity towards Yi Chunfeng. I'm just a loose cultivator with slightly better luck. Yi Chunfeng smiled lightly. A loose cultivator. Kong Sungchen gasped and said, that's impossible. Yi Chunfeng looked at Kong Sungchen's doubtful expression and didn't explain anything as he said softly, all right, senior. If you trust me, then consume this death-like pill. After that, we'll put on a show together and deal with the mastermind as soon as possible so that we can rush to the Bai clan's rescue. Chunfeng, if I consume the death-like pill and fake my death, will I lose a certain amount of battle strength during this period of time? Although Kong Sungchen firmly believed in Yi Qianfeng, he was worried that once he lost his battle strength, even if the mastermind behind the scenes was lured out, the situation would be out of control, and the situation would become even more dangerous. Yi Qianfeng smiled lightly and said confidently, "When the death-like pill is used to fake your death, it will indeed greatly affect Senior's battle strength. However, Senior can rest assured that Senior will be able to recover his peak strength in at most an hour. Since I dared to use this method, I naturally have the ability to deal with any dangers that may appear at any time. All right, then I'll leave everything to you." Looking at Yi Qianfeng's confident appearance and thinking of his heaven-defying methods, Kong Sungchen no longer had any doubts. He took the death-like pill that Yi Qianfeng passed to him and directly swallowed it. After that, Yi Qianfeng wielded the Tao of Death and the Tao of Illusion to the extreme and injected them into Kong Sungchen's body. He tried his best to create the illusion that his life was hanging by a thread as the poison returned to him. As the death-like pill took effect, the life force in Kong Sungchen's body started to fade. In order to make it more realistic, Yi Qianfeng gave Kong Sungchen a poison pill to create the illusion that his poison had exploded. When everything was ready, Yi Qianfeng checked carefully to make sure that there were no mistakes. He then discussed the plan that he had thought of with Kong Sungchen. After the plan was confirmed, Kong Sungchen, whose face was dark and whose body was covered with poison spots, took out the communication pearl that he had not used for a long time. He separately sent messages to the important members of the Jiang family and called them all to the thatched hut. P.S. Photo of Bai Ziqing on Sunday. If you want to see, please add the WeChat public account, YTY3, or directly search on the public account, Tearful Sky Rain. Mobile users, please browse to read. Mobile users, please read this website, this book's address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 787. Grand Ancestor, what happened to you? The upper echelons of the Jiang family received Jiang Xingchen's message and immediately rushed to the thatched hut. When they saw Jiang Xingchen's pale face and weak aura, they were all dumbfounded as if they had been struck by lightning. Jiang Yixian, who was wearing a dark golden martial arts suit and had snow-white hair, asked nervously. He looked similar to Jiang Yiwu, but he did not have Jiang Yiwu's fierce aura. Kong Sungchen was the cornerstone of the Jiang family. He was the cornerstone that protected the Jiang family. If something happened to him, it would directly shake the foundation of the Jiang family and cause immeasurable losses to the Jiang family. Kid, are you sent by the enemy to assassinate the Grand Ancestor? Jiang Yiwu glared at Yi Qianfeng and shouted. However, he was grateful to Yi Qianfeng. Many of the Jiang family's experts also cast angry looks at Yi Qianfeng. If it was not for Kong Sungchen's order, they would have already captured Yi Qianfeng. Yiwu, the poison in my body has nothing to do with little friend Yi. It's the Jiang family's fault for not being able to survive the most difficult step. Kong Sungchen, who was half lying on the 10,000 years mysterious jade, interrupted Jiang Yiwu and said weakly, Grand Ancestor, may I help you check your body to see if there's any hope of suppressing the poison? An old man with a long beard in a white medicine master's robe walked to Kong Sungchen and asked respectfully. Although his strength was not high, he was the most skilled person in the Jiang family. He had researched more than 1,000 years ago and was known as the divine physician. Okay, Kong Sungchen, whose face was getting darker and weaker, nodded. He passed his arm that was full of poison spots to the Jiang family's medicine master and allowed him to check his body. While the Jiang family's medicine master was checking, Jiang Yixian, Jiang Yiwu, and the others immediately looked at him. They wanted to confirm Kong Sungchen's condition from him. How is it, fourth brother? How's the Grand Ancestor's condition? Jiang Yixian quickly asked when he saw the Jiang family's apothecary moving his finger away from Kong Sungchen's pulse and falling into deep thought. As expected, the poison in the patriarch's body has broken out. His meridians have been severely damaged, and his life force has begun to extinguish. Almost what? Jiang Yiwu glared at him and asked loudly. It's almost incurable, the Jiang family's doctor said reluctantly. Brat, who sent you to plot against the ancestor? As soon as the Jiang family doctor finished speaking, Jiang Yiwu was instantly enraged. A powerful, murderous aura emanated from his body and pressed down on Yi Chenfeng. He could not restrain his anger as he questioned. The early relapse of the poison in Jiang Taizu's body is indeed related to me, but I have no intention of harming him. I just misjudged the power of the poison in Jiang Taizu's body and did not suppress it in the end, resulting in this outcome. Yi Chenfeng sighed softly and explained with an apologetic expression. Do you think we'll believe your nonsense? Do you know that once something happens to the ancestor, the Jiang family situation will become even more dangerous? I think you're spies sent by the enemy to plot against the ancestor. Jiang Yiwu roared furiously. The flames in his eyes could not wait to melt Yi Chenfeng. Yiwu, I believe that little friend Yi has no ill intentions. Don't make things difficult for him. He really did try his best, Kong Sung-chun said weakly. Little friend Yi, there's nothing for you to do here. You can leave first. However, the Jiang family can't even protect itself now. I'm afraid we won't be able to help the Bai family out. All right then, take care of yourself, senior. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng turned and left under the furious gazes of the crowd. Ancestor, are you going to let him go just like that? Jiang Yiwu's eyes were filled with hostility as he asked unwillingly. I know better than all of you whether there's a problem with him or not. He really did want to help me detoxify the poison, but because of his limited strength, he was unable to suppress the poison in my body in the end, causing it to relapse prematurely. This is also my fate. All right, I have a few important matters to deal with now. Yixian, Yiwu, the two of you stay behind. The rest of you can go back. Kong Sung-chun waved his hand and ordered weakly. After saying that, his chest suddenly heaved up and down violently. He coughed loudly, and a large amount of black blood flowed out of his mouth. His entire body became even more dispirited, and his turbid eyes emitted a deathly light. Chengfeng, you're back. How's the situation? Did you manage to cure Ancestor Zhang's poison? When Yi Chenfeng returned to the courtyard where he was resting, Bai Ziqing and the other two girls who had been waiting for a long time immediately went up to him and asked expectantly, There's a change in the plan. Quickly pack your bags. We'll talk about it after we leave the Jiang residence. Yi Chenfeng urged anxiously. Chengfeng, what happened? Bai Ziqing and the other two girls' hearts tightened as they hurriedly asked. After we leave the Jiang residence, I'll tell you slowly. I'm afraid that if we don't leave now, something big will happen. Yi Chenfeng deliberately created a tense atmosphere. All right, looking at Yi Chenfeng's serious expression, Bai Ziqing and the others felt the seriousness of the situation. They did not ask any more questions and immediately gathered the experts of the Bai family, preparing to leave with Yi Chenfeng. As for the king of massacre, although Fu Qingshan felt suspicious, he did not ask any more questions. All right, everyone is here. Let's go. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng and the others left the courtyard and walked towards the entrance of the Jiang residence. Stop. Without the second family head's orders, you are not allowed to leave the Jiang residence as you wish. When Yi Chenfeng and the others arrived at the entrance of the Jiang residence, Jiang Hong, who had suffered a great humiliation and was humiliated by Yi Chenfeng, appeared with several experts of the Jiang clan and intercepted them. Jiang Taizu asked us to leave. Could the second family head's words be more effective than Jiang Taizu's? Yi Chenfeng looked coldly at Jiang Hong, whose swollen face had yet to subside. Jiang Hong's eyes were filled with viciousness. He spoke without any courtesy. Get lost. Damn it. You are about to die, and yet you are still so arrogant. Once I capture you, I'll let you taste all the pain in the world. I will torture you for 10 days and 10 nights before sending you to the Western Paradise. Jiang Hong was fuming with anger. Don't worry, that day will not come. Yi Chenfeng's eyes flashed with killing intent. 60 sword Dao patterns burst out from his body. A sword cut through the air and slashed at Jiang Hong, who had widened his eyes and turned pale with fright. TSK. A blood wound appeared on Jiang Hong's neck, and a large amount of blood seeped out. Due to the speed of the sword, Jiang Hong didn't even feel much pain. However, a large amount of blood gushed out from his eyes. In the next moment, all his thoughts stopped. His vision turned pitch black, and his head rolled down from his neck. A large amount of blood spurted out uncontrollably and dyed the ground red. Whoever dares to obstruct me will be killed without mercy. After killing Jiang Hong, who harbored evil intentions, Yi Qinfeng secretly circulated the 8 void Azura art in his body. The killing aura accumulated from the blood, and bones gushed out from his body like an avalanche. It enveloped several experts of the Jiang clan who were obstructing him, making them feel as though they were facing the Grim Reaper. All the hairs on their body instantly stood up. Their bodies trembled uncontrollably, and they couldn't help but take 3 steps back. Let's go. After releasing the killing aura to intimidate the experts of the Jiang clan, Yi Qinfeng didn't start massacre. He led by Ziqing and the others, whose minds were blank, and quickly left the chaotic Jiang clan residence. Just as Yi Qinfeng and his group left the City of Thousands Clouds at top speed, numerous blurry shadows appeared in the outskirts of the City of Thousands Clouds like ghosts. They looked at Yi Qinfeng and his group from afar, concealed their aura, and quietly followed them. Mobile users, please browse to M. Reading. Mobile reading site. This book's address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 788. Qingfeng, what happened between you and Jiang Taizu? Why did the Jiang family suddenly change their attitude towards us? By Ziqing, who didn't know the truth, couldn't figure out why Yi Qinfeng would suddenly become enemies with the Jiang family. Don't ask too much. I will tell you when the time is right. What we need to do now is to get rid of the pursuers behind us. Yi Qinfeng's soul had undergone numerous qualitative changes and was unprecedentedly strong. He could easily sense that there were experts following behind them. Pursuers? By Ziqing's expression changed. Don't look back. Continue forward. We will deal with them when we are further away from the Thousand Cloud City. Yi Qinfeng sent a voice transmission to Xiao Chun as he increased his flying speed. Soon, he arrived at a mountain range that stretched for many kilometers to the southwest of 10,000 Cloud City. The mountain range had towering ancient trees and a complicated terrain. All right, stop running. I think this place is pretty good. It has beautiful scenery and is suitable to be your grave. When Yi Qinfeng's group flew into the mountain range, 3 blurry figures suddenly appeared and intercepted them. 3 combat beast emperors. Bai Ziqing and the others felt suffocated when they felt the terrifying aura from the 3. Their expressions changed, and they exclaimed in fear. 100-kill formation. Facing the obstruction of the 3 emperor-level powerhouses, Yi Qinfeng didn't make a move to kill them. Instead, he summoned the 108 formation flags and quickly set up the 100-kill formation, which had a terrifying offensive power, enveloping everyone in it. Brother Qingfeng, why don't you let me go out and deal with the 3 of them? As the golden-eyed blood ape's bloodline became stronger and more inherited abilities were fused, the spiritual fish became more aggressive and murderous. Now is not the time to kill them. Everyone, wait patiently in the formation and wait for my orders. Yi Qinfeng shook his head and said. After saying that, Yi Qinfeng closed his eyes and used his mind to control the 100-killing formation to defend against the attacks of the black-clad experts with extraordinary strength. As more and more black-clothed experts gathered to intercept and kill Yi Qinfeng's group, the attacks they launched also became fiercer and fiercer. However, the 100 kills formation's attack and defense were one, and its power was terrifying. No matter how they used all their skills, they were unable to break through the 100 kills formation. Time passed quickly under their frenzied attacks. Soon, the sky turned dark. In the dead of night, When the chaotic Jiang family manor regained its temporary peace, 4 men in black suddenly passed through the dark night sky and silently arrived at Jiang Yiwu's courtyard. And these 4 men in black all had the strength of a level 4 beast emperor. Obviously, they had extraordinary origins and backgrounds. Greetings, Lord Devil Envoys. When Jiang Yiwu saw the 4 black-robed men mysteriously appear in his room, he quickly stood up and bowed respectfully as he drank his tea and thought of a plan. Jiang Yiwu, you said that Kong Sungchin's poison has relapsed and his life is in danger. A man with long dark green hair, long ivory earrings, and a tattoo of a poisonous scorpion on his left cheek asked without a trace of emotion. He gave off a gloomy and cold feeling. He was the Jiang family's expert who had cultivated the poison Dao intent to the 7th heaven. His strength was unfathomable, and he was the poison expert who poisoned Kong Sungchin. Yes, it's absolutely true. Jiang Yiwu nodded and said with schadenfreude, but all of this is thanks to a brat brought by the Bai family. Without him, who knows how long that old thing would have lasted. Jiang Yiwu, this is no small matter. Only when we are absolutely sure that Kong Sungchin's poison has relapsed and his life is in danger can we carry out the plan. If this is Kong Sungchin's scheme, with his strength, I'm afraid he will bring us a devastating disaster, the green-haired man said cautiously. Although the green-haired man had poisoned Kong Sungchin, he was also heavily injured by Kong Sungchin when he launched a sneak attack on Kong Sungchin. If it wasn't for his companions risking their lives to save him, he would have died long ago. Therefore, he still had lingering fears of Kong Sungchin's terrifying strength. I'm 100% sure that the old thing's poison has relapsed and his life is in danger. There won't be any accidents, Jiang Yiwu promised as he patted his chest. When Kong Sungchin had asked him and Jiang Yixin to stay, he had made up an excuse and personally checked Kong Sungchin's body. He found that Kong Sungchin's condition was worse than he had imagined. His life was hanging by a thread, and he could die at any time. It was definitely not a pretense. Jiang Yiwu, do you think your identity has been exposed? The green-haired man asked. I don't think it has been exposed, Jiang Yiwu said after some hesitation. Actually, we can wait until Kong Sungchin really breathes his last before taking action. It would be safer that way, the green-haired man said cautiously, feeling that something was amiss. His 3 companions agreed with his words. They felt that there was no need to take risks at this juncture. The reason why I want to take action earlier is that I am afraid that the old thing, Kong Sungchin, has a backup plan, Jiang Yiwu said helplessly. That old thing knows very well that once he dies, it will bring a devastating disaster to the Jiang family. Therefore, before he dies, he will definitely have a backup plan. Today, when he asked Jiang Yixin and me to stay, he also talked about this. In the end, he asked me to leave early. It will not be easy to keep Jiang Yixin here. I am afraid that if we wait any longer, they will secretly take away the Jiang family's millions of years of inheritance. When that happens, all our efforts will be in vain. What do you think? After listening to Jiang Yiwu's words, the green-haired man frowned deeply. They had subverted Xingluo's major factions because they wanted their inheritance and resources. If what Jiang Yiwu said was true, and Kong Sungchin secretly took away the inheritance at the last moment, all their plans would be in vain. They would not be able to report back to their superiors. Green Robe, do you think that Kong Sungchin can be detoxified and recover in such a short period of time? A burly man with shiny golden hair who looked like a lion asked in a low voice. He exuded a domineering aura. Impossible. Although Kong Sungchin is powerful, it is impossible for him to be detoxified and recover in such a short period of time, Green Robe said confidently. As long as we can confirm that Kong Sungchin has not recovered from the poison, then it will be easy. Even if this is a trap, the 4 of us don't have to be afraid. With the 4 of us and Jiang Yiwu, we can kill Kong Sungchin. Even if this is a trap, it will not be difficult for us to escape unscathed, the golden-haired man analyzed. All right, since you want to take the risk, then let's take the gamble. At most, the plan will fail, and we will waste some time. No matter what, The Jiang family's inheritance cannot be lost. They thought that Kong Sungchen would not be able to get the help of a top-notch master. Moreover, under the condition of being poisoned, even if he had 3 heads and 6 arms, he would not be able to turn the tide. In the end, the 4 of them changed their minds and followed Jiang Yiwu to Kong Sungchen's thatched hut. They planned to work together to kill Kong Sungchen, seize the Jiang family's ancient inheritance, and overthrow the Jiang family. Mobile users, please browse to mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 789. 4 Demon Envoys. That old fellow Kong Sungchen's house is right in front of us. Jiang Yiwu pointed at the unusually quiet thatched hut shrouded in darkness as he transmitted his voice to the 4 black-robed men. Yes, that old fellow's vitality is indeed running low. It seems that the poison in his body has really broken out. He won't live for long. The dark-faced old man, whose entire body was shrouded in a black Taoist robe and whose skin was as dry as tree bark, whispered when he sensed Kong Sungchen's aura. Then what are we waiting for? Hurry up and kill Kong Sungchen and take control of the Jiang family. Hearing the dark-faced old man's words, the 4 black-robed men revealed sinister and ferocious expressions. They worked together to break the restriction outside the thatched hut and directly broke in. Yiwu, you've really disappointed me. When Jiang Yiwu and the other 4 black-robed men broke into the thatched hut, rays of white light suddenly shone from the pitch-black thatched hut. Kong Sungchen, who was wearing a white star-patterned Taoist robe and full of poison spots, suddenly opened his tightly shut eyes and looked at Jiang Yiwu, who had betrayed the Jiang family. He spoke with neither joy nor sorrow. Kong Sungchen seemed to be on the verge of dying. However, when Jiang Yiwu met his deep, ocean-like eyes, his heart inexplicably tensed up, and beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. Old man, don't play tricks. Just accept your death obediently. The green-robed man looked at Kong Sungchen, who was calm and composed as if he had already expected this. He felt a little uneasy in his heart and quickly merged with his spirit beast, wanting to kill Kong Sungchen. Someone will definitely die tonight, but I'm afraid the people who will die will be you. Jiang Xingchen revealed an unfathomable smile. His aged hands moved quickly, forming more than 10 complicated hand seals, which condensed into more than 100 complex array runes that merged into the thatched hut. Suddenly, the light of countless formation patterns shone out from the tens of thousands of thatches, forming an impenetrable golden formation that sealed the entire thatched hut. In the next moment, Kong Sungchen, who was sitting cross-legged on the 10,000 years mysterious jade, mysteriously disappeared. Jiang Yiwu, Green Robe, and the others were trapped in the thatched hut, unable to come out. Not good, it really is a trap. Trapped in the thatched hut, Jiang Yiwu, Green Robe, and the others paled. They immediately took out their heavenly artifacts and heavenly treasures to attack the Golden Light Formation. They wanted to rely on absolute strength to break free. However, the Great Golden Light Formation was something Kong Sungchen had spent countless years to set up. It was also one of his trump cards, and its defensive power was extremely terrifying. Although Jiang Yiwu and the others were strong, they did not understand the principles behind it and would not be able to break it in a short time. Cheng Feng, the enemy has entered the trap. It's up to you now. After successfully trapping Jiang Yiwu and the others in the thatched hut, Kong Sungchen took out his communication pearl and sent a message to Yi Chenfeng. After that, he quickly consumed 2 detoxification pills and circulated his Tao Sutra to quickly refine them and remove the toxins in his body. It's time to reel in the net. After receiving Kong Sungchen's message, Yi Chenfeng revealed a cold smile and said, "Third Uncle Fu, Lingyu, Xuehe, let's go out and kill the enemy and rush back to the Jiang family." After that, Yi Chenfeng broke 4 holes in the 100-kill formation that had been bombarded indiscriminately and appeared outside with the King of Massacre and the others. Damn it, You guys are finally willing to come out. Go, capture them alive, and bring them back to receive the reward. A burly man who was 2 meters tall and wielded a pair of fire-patterned heavy axes revealed a hideous smile. His strength had reached the level of a level 1 combat beast emperor. His strong body exploded with astonishing strength as he hacked at Yi Chunfeng with the force of splitting the sky. Swish! There was an ear-piercing sound as 60 sword-based Dao patterns shot out from Yi Chunfeng's body and pierced through his head at a speed that was hard to be seen by the naked eye. Before he could react, the extremely sharp sword-based Dao patterns exploded his head, causing blood to splatter all over the ground. Gulp! After witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng instantly killing a level 1 combat beast emperor expert, the black-clothed experts who wanted to capture them were all stunned and revealed terrified expressions. End the battle quickly. Don't waste any time. After controlling the sword-based Dao patterns to kill the burly man, Yi Chunfeng ordered loudly. He took out the Emperor Sky's sword and rushed towards the enemies. He was like the Grim Reaper as he crazily reaped their lives. As for the King of Massacre, Fu Qingshan and the others, they didn't show any mercy either. They exploded with astonishing attack power and killed their enemies with every move. In less than 10 breaths, the 23 black-clothed men who were chasing after Yi Chunfeng and the others were all dead. The thick smell of blood drifted in midair, causing one to feel nauseous. Third Uncle Fu, stay behind and protect Ziqing and the others. We will go to the Jiang residence to rescue them. After killing the enemies, Yi Chunfeng didn't waste any time. He left Fu Qingshan behind and brought the spiritual fish and the King of Massacre back to the Jiang residence. At this moment, the entire Jiang residence was in chaos again. Hearing the fierce attacks of Jiang Yiwu and the others, many experts of the Jiang family came to the thatched hut to check what was going on. However, they were blocked by Kong Sungchen's restriction. Only Jiang Yixian was allowed to come to Kong Sungchen's side. Ancestor, what's going on? Who is attacking your thatched hut? Jiang Yixian, who was kept in the dark and didn't know the truth, came to Kong Sungchen, who was sitting cross-legged and was rapidly expelling the effects of the fake death elixir to recover his strength. The ones in the thatched hut are Jiang Yiwu and the 4 masterminds who are trying to overthrow the Jiang family. Kong Sungchen said softly. Yiwu is a traitor. Hearing Kong Sungchen's words, Jiang Yixian raised his eyebrows and revealed a shocked expression. Jiang Yixian, who had been seriously injured by the mastermind, had been focusing on healing himself. He didn't know that Jiang Yiwu had already betrayed the Jiang family. Yes, Yiwu has already betrayed the Jiang family. Tonight, he brought 4 level 4 combat beast emperors to kill me and overthrow the Jiang family. Kong Sungchen nodded and said, Is Yiwu crazy? Why would he want to be a sinner? After knowing the truth, Jiang Yixian was heartbroken. He also felt the severity of the situation. Although they had trapped the enemies, the Jiang family didn't have the strength to kill the enemies in their current situation. Once Jiang Yiwu and the others escaped, they would bring disaster to the Jiang family. Patriarch, should we evacuate the Jiang family first to avoid any accidents? Jiang Yixian took a deep breath and asked Kong Sungchen for his opinion. No, I can't leave. However, you can let Jiang Nan and the others hide outside, and let them come back when things calm down. But if the Jiang family really can't get through this crisis, let them hide their identities and wait for the day when we can rise again. Although Yi Chunfeng had repeatedly created miracles and his heaven-defying methods had shocked Kong Sungchen, he didn't understand Yi Chunfeng's true strength. For the sake of caution, he still asked Jiang Yixian to evacuate the younger generation of the Jiang family. Patriarch, there's no point for you to stay. With the Jiang family's current strength, there's nothing we can do to reverse the situation, Jiang Yixian advised anxiously. No, there might still be a chance. Kong Sungchen shook his head and said, Moreover, I faked my injuries. I'm afraid it won't be easy for them to kill me. Fake my injuries. Jiang Yixian was pleasantly surprised, but he couldn't figure out where the Jiang family's turnaround came from no matter how hard he racked his brains. That's enough, Yixian. Let Jiang Nan and the others leave the Jiang family quickly. Also, when little friend Yi and the others rush back to the Jiang family, don't stop them. They're here to help us, Kong Sungchen urged Jiang Yixian, who wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. Little friend Yi. Jiang Yixian was surprised. He could vaguely guess who the turnaround Kong Sungchen was talking about was. However, when he thought about the strength of Yi Chenfeng and the others, he still couldn't believe that they were the turnaround that could change the Jiang family's fate. Mobile users, please browse to mobile reading website. This book's address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 790. Time ticked by. Under the relentless attacks of Jiang Yiwu and the others, the thatched hut that was emitting a dazzling golden light began to crack. Loud noises reverberated in the dark night sky, terrifying everyone. Grand Elder, I have ordered people to escort Jiang Nan and the others out of the Jiang family mansion through the secret passage. What should we do next? At this moment, Jiang Yixian returned to Kong Sungchen's side and reported in a low voice. Behind him were the 6 strongest experts of the Jiang family. However, the 6 of them were all level 3 beast emperors. There was still a huge gap between their strength and Jiang Yiwu's. It could be said that the Jiang family's current strength was unable to turn the situation around. Wait, Kong Sungchen spat out a word and continued to circulate the Tao formula to force out the medicinal effects of the death-like pill in his body and recover his strength. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 3-ear piercing sounds suddenly rang out. Just as the Jiang family mansion was shrouded in a haze and was in deep danger, Yi Chenfeng and the other 2 had rushed back. Chenfeng, I'm really sorry for dragging you into this and making you take the risk with us. Kong Sungchen opened his deep eyes and looked at Yi Chenfeng and the other 2 as he spoke apologetically. However, when he glanced at the blushing Lingyu, who was wearing a white princess dress and had a cute doll's hairstyle, he was obviously surprised. He was surprised that Yi Chenfeng had brought a little girl with him at such a dangerous time. Senior, you're being too serious. As long as we work together, we will definitely be able to overcome this crisis. Yi Chenfeng smiled and said in a neither arrogant nor humble tone, However, before we take action, can you activate the Great Sect Protection Array? I'm afraid that they will run away. Haha, all right. Kong Sungchen laughed. He could feel a strong sense of confidence from Yi Chenfeng's words. The worry in his heart lessened a lot. He quickly activated the Great Sect Protection Array and enveloped the entire Jiang family mansion. As for Jiang Yixian and the others, they also revealed bewildered expressions. They wanted to know the source of Yi Chenfeng's confidence. All right, Senior. Everything is ready. Senior, please release them. With a thought, Yi Chenfeng took out the middle-grade Tao artifact, the Emperor Heaven Sword, and said slowly, All right. After sensing the grade of the Emperor Celestial Sword, Kong Sungchen's eyes lit up, and his impression of Yi Chenfeng increased. He quickly formed a few complicated hand seals and closed the restrictions in the straw hut. Bang! The restriction disappeared, and the thatched hut, which was under great pressure, fell apart. Green Robe and the others, who were full of hostility, appeared. Old man, I really didn't expect you to use yourself as bait and dig a trap to lure us out. Green Robe glared at Kong Sungchen, who was sitting cross-legged, and said murderously, But what can we do even if we show ourselves? Do you think you can deal with us? Yiwu, it's too late for you to turn back now. If you continue to be stubborn, you will be the sinner of the Jiang family. Jiang Yixian looked at Jiang Yiwu, who was blinded by his ambition, and said bitterly, It's too late. I have no way out. I can only blame that old man for choosing you to be the head of the Jiang family and abandoning me. Jiang Yiwu looked at Kong Sungchen with hidden bitterness and said heartlessly, Until now, I still don't regret my decision. With your temperament, you are not fit to be the head of the Jiang family. As Kong Sungchen spoke, a powerful force was awakened in his body. Dazzling starlight was emitted from his old body, turning the dark night sky into day. You, you have neutralized my poison. Sensing that the poison in Kong Sungchen's body had mysteriously disappeared, Green Robe widened his eyes and revealed a look of disbelief. He also felt uneasy. That's right. If I didn't neutralize your poison, would I have lured you out? Kong Sungchen revealed an unfathomable smile. However, because the fake death pill was too powerful, he had only recovered 40% of his strength in such a short time. There's a change of plans. Let's leave this place first. Green Robe and the others angrily glared at Jiang Yiwu, who was dumbfounded and unable to accept the reality. They wanted to quickly break out of the encirclement and leave. Where do you think you're going? The petite and cute spirit fish shouted. She stepped on the 8 divine ape shadows and blocked in front of Green Robe and the others in a flash. Then, she threw a punch at the burly blonde man. Danger! Kong Sungchen did not expect the spirit fish to be so bold as to take the initiative to attack without caring about her own safety. His heart tightened, and he immediately tried to rescue her. You're courting death. The blonde man's eyes revealed a strong sense of fierceness. He erupted with a powerful force and punched the spirit fish's small fist with his fist that was filled with astonishing soul power and strength. When the two fists collided, a loud explosion sounded. The rolling force was like a surging tide, causing the air to fluctuate violently. What? The blonde man realized that his all-out attack had only caused the spirit fish to retreat 3 steps. However, he was unable to injure her. He opened his eyes wide and revealed a look of disbelief. Bloodline ignition, transform. Sensing the terrifying strength of the blonde man, the spirit fish, who was full of fighting spirit, ignited the power of her bloodline and transformed into the terrifying golden eye divine ape. Her fighting strength increased tremendously. Her physical strength was also increasing. With a suffocating force, she launched a fierce attack at the blonde man. What a valiant young lady! Kong Sungchen and the others were stunned by the spirit fish's terrifying strength. They were shocked that the petite and cute spirit fish had such shocking strength. At this moment, Yi Chenfeng, the king of massacre, also made his move. Yi Chenfeng held the Emperor Sky's sword and attacked Green Robe, who had comprehended the poison Dao intent and was at the 7th heaven. He was the greatest threat to the group. The king of massacre summoned the ancient instant mirror and engaged in an intense battle with the black-robed old man, who had a powerful soul spirit. Kong Sungchen, who had the highest cultivation level but had only recovered 40%, made his move and engaged in a fierce battle with the last enemy. He left Jiang Yiwu, who had turned pale with fright, to Jiang Yixian and the others. Poison Dao intent, poison the world. Yi Chenfeng attacked with all his strength. Green Robe immediately activated his poison Dao intent to the extreme. 70 poison Dao patterns spurted out of his body and attacked Yi Chenfeng like venomous snakes. Chenfeng, be careful. Don't let the poison Dao patterns enter your body. Kong Sungchen knew how terrifying the poison Dao intent was. Previously, he had been careless and allowed the poison Dao patterns to enter his body. That was why he had been injured. He quickly reminded Jiang Yiwu. Kong Sungchen and the others were afraid of the 7th heaven poison Dao intent. However, Yi Chenfeng, who had the chaos divine wood, wasn't afraid at all. He used his sword steps and rushed into the midst of the poison Dao patterns. He allowed the poison Dao patterns to enter his body and continued to attack Green Robe. Swish, 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 swish. The extremely sharp sword Dao intent burst out from Yi Chenfeng's feet and attacked Green Robe like a rain of swords, injuring him and forcing him to retreat. The poison Dao patterns that entered Yi Chenfeng's body were completely devoured by the Chaos Divine Wood and couldn't harm Yi Chenfeng's body at all. You? What kind of body do you have? How can you ignore the poison Dao patterns? Green Robe, whose defense was penetrated by the sword steps, was covered with sword holes and was bleeding profusely. He looked at Yi Chenfeng, who was unharmed, and revealed an expression as though he had seen a ghost. You talk too much. As he spoke, the five elements Tao intent, heaven and earth Tao intent, and life and death Tao intent spurted out from Yi Qinfeng's body and converged into a huge hand that covered the sky. It crushed the air and pressed towards Green Robe with the power to destroy space. Boom! Green Robe, who couldn't dodge in time, was hit by Yi Qinfeng's huge hand that covered the sky. His body's defense was broken, and he was forced to retreat uncontrollably. The blood in his body was rolling violently, and streams of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Due to his carelessness, Green Robe, who was a Grade 4 combat beast emperor, was injured by Yi Qinfeng. Mobile users, please browse to read. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 791. Five Elements Tao Intent, Heaven and Earth Tao Intent, and Life and Death Tao Intent. Could this Yi Qinfeng be the reincarnation of a mighty figure in the sky domain? Kong Sungqian was stunned by the three Tao intents that Yi Qinfeng had comprehended. Even he, who had been cultivating Tao intents for tens of thousands of years, had never comprehended such an unfathomable fusion of Tao intents. At this moment, he finally knew why Yi Qinfeng was so confident. With his help, the Zhang family would definitely be able to survive this crisis and eliminate the hidden dangers. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. After injuring Green Robe with the fusion of three Tao intents, Yi Qinfeng did not give him a chance to catch his breath. With a thought, he summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, which released endless firepower to suppress Green Robe, limiting his speed and suppressing his strength. Black Cauldron, resist! Feeling the destructive pressure from the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Green Robe opened his mouth and summoned a Quasi-Dao treasure, a black cauldron covered with ancient patterns, to resist the suppression of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. However, Yi Qinfeng had fused with the Dragon Heart and broken through to the first-grade Beast Emperor realm. His control over the Vermilion Bird Cauldron was stronger, and he could use 80% of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron's attack power. The two cauldrons collided like Mars colliding with Earth. A slight shattering sound immediately came from the Black Cauldron. The rolling impact formed in midair like an avalanche, distorting the space. When the Vermilion Bird Cauldron cracked the Black Cauldron and suppressed it, Yi Qinfeng multitasked and summoned the Scarlet Thunder Bead and the Chilling Water Bead in succession to attack Green Robe, forcing him to retreat repeatedly. Damn it! How does this kid have so many Tao treasures? And how does he have such a powerful soul that he can control three Tao treasures at the same time? Facing the attack of the Thunder of Death and the Chilling Water Bead, Green Robe used all his means to defend himself. He was slightly surprised by Yi Qinfeng's endless means. Sky Demon Chains. Just as Green Robe relied on his absolute strength to resist the attack of the two Quasi-Dao treasures, 5 ghost chains broke out of Yi Qinfeng's body like 5 dancing black snakes, sealing all of Green Robe's dodging space and binding his body. Beast Soul Form. At the critical moment, Green Robe ignited his bloodline power and transformed into his most powerful beast soul form. His entire body was covered with a thick layer of carapace, and his strength rose steadily. Poison Corrosion. When he was bound by the 5 Sky Demon Devil ropes, the 70 poison Tao patterns frantically broke into the Sky Demon Devil ropes and corroded them. At the same time, his body was constantly expanding and breaking the Sky Demon Devil ropes little by little. 7 Swords of Judgment. Seeing that Green Robe was using his absolute strength to tear apart the Heaven Demon ropes, Yi Qinfeng's body once again surged with powerful Tao intent as he slashed out with the Emperor's Celestial Sword. A destructive sword projection filled with the will to rule the world tore a deep sword gash in space and pierced toward Green Soul's chest with unstoppable force. At this critical moment, the Cosmos ring on Green Robe's finger lit up and a large number of extremely hard insect shells flew out. Under the control of his mind, They overlapped and resisted ruling sword's attack. When the unstoppable sword of judgment pierced through dozens of insect shells, Green Robe tore apart the sky demon shackles with an explosive power, dodging the attack of the 7 swords of judgment. Poisonous blood golden scorpion. After experiencing Yi Chunfeng's shocking means, Green Robe didn't dare to hold back anymore. He slapped the beast taming bag on his waist and released the poisonous blood golden scorpion that he had spent a lot of effort to raise for more than 100 years. Together, they attacked Yi Chunfeng. Dragon bloodline burn. Beast soul form. Green Robe and the poisonous blood golden scorpion attacked together. Yi Chunfeng decisively burned his dragon bloodline and increased his soul power by 7 times, transforming into a half-human, half-dragon form. The double-headed Blood Dragon King evolved into the Blood Dragon Emperor and greatly increased the combat power of Yi Chunfeng's beast soul form. Regardless of whether it was attack or defense, it was greatly enhanced. Dragon, spiritual beast dragon. Kong Sungchun, who was suppressing his opponent with all his strength, saw Yi Chunfeng's beast soul form from the corner of his eye and raised his snow-white eyebrows. Amazing means, heaven-defying talent, and the top-notch spiritual beast. Kong Sungchun didn't know how to describe the monstrous Yi Chunfeng anymore. He even had the intention of befriending him. Triple ultimate water restriction, illusory dragon water shadow. His strength increased greatly, and the 3 fused Dao insights gushed out once more, transforming into an illusory water dragon above Yi Chunfeng's head. It cracked open its bloody mouth that caused others to feel fear as it smashed forward. When Green Robe and the poisonous blood golden scorpion joined forces to resist the illusory dragon water shadow, the terrifying illusory water dragon exploded and launched the most fatal attack. Green Robe and the poisonous blood golden scorpion were shaken back and suffered serious injuries. Poisonous blood golden scorpion fuse. After experiencing the horror of Yi Chunfeng's beast soul form, Green Robe immediately cast a secret method to continuously fuse the demonic power of the poisonous blood golden scorpion to further increase his strength and continue to fight Yi Chunfeng. When the fierce battle between Yi Chunfeng and Green Robe reached the climax, the spirit fish and king of massacre simultaneously suppressed their opponents and forced them to retreat. Especially the king of massacre. With the help of the Gudao treasure's ancient mirror of Xana, he had already heavily injured the black-robed old man. His entire chest was badly mutilated, and he would be able to kill the black-robed old man in at most half an hour and end the battle. Damn it! How did things turn out like this? It shouldn't be like this. Seeing the situation in front of him, Jiang Yiwu's heart fell to the bottom. He couldn't accept the reality in front of him, and he couldn't accept the consequences of failure. Don't fight. Quickly break out of the encirclement and leave this place. The black-robed, middle-aged man, who had completely lost control of the situation in the battle with Kong Sungchun, shouted loudly. He had a feeling that if they continued to delay, they would be in deep trouble. Leave? Do you think you can leave? Blinding starlight and golden light flashed behind Kong Sungchun, and a palm-sized hammer appeared on his body. When Jiang Yiwu saw the hammer that appeared with Kong Sungchun's body, he panicked, and a trace of despair appeared on his face. This palm-sized hammer was the Jiang clan's most treasured Dao treasure, the Falling Star Hammer. When the hammer smashed down, it was like a meteorite falling to the ground, and it was powerful enough to flatten a mountain. After summoning the Falling Star Hammer, Kong Sungchun immediately controlled the Star Dao intent. The metal Dao intent fused into the Falling Star Hammer, awakening this powerful treasure that was comparable to the Gudao treasure. When the Falling Star Hammer turned into the size of a water tank, Kong Sungchun immediately controlled it and smashed it towards the black-robed middle-aged man, whose expression changed drastically. The hammer broke through the black-robed middle-aged man's burning blood and chi like a hot knife through butter and smashed him into the ground. A large amount of blood spurted out from his body, and he had completely lost his ability to fight. The scene of Kong Sungchun ending the battle with a single hammer deeply shocked Green Robe and the others. They were terrified, and their attention was severely distracted. Extreme Tao, a mysterious underworld. Seizing the opportunity when Green Robe's attention was distracted, Yi Chunfeng used the illusion Tao intent as the foundation and the Tao intents as the support to blast out a dragon-like extreme Tao force. It bombarded Green Robe's body at close range, and while it forcefully broke through his body's defenses, it also injured him. In the next moment, the vermilion bird cauldron, which had sent the black cauldron flying, fell from the sky like a boiling volcano and suppressed Green Robe, who was severely injured and desperately resisting. It forcibly suppressed Green Robe, who had fused with the poisonous blood golden scorpion and whose strength had skyrocketed. Mobile users, please browse to read. Mobile reading site. This book's address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 792. Golden Poisonous Blood Scorpion, Explode. With his life hanging by a thread, Green Robe, who was being suppressed by the Suzaku Cauldron, ordered the Class 8 Heavenly Beast, Golden Poisonous Blood Scorpion, to explode at Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to injure him severely and take the opportunity to escape. The Heavenly Tao is merciless. The Golden Poisonous Blood Scorpion, which was releasing endless blood qi and poisonous gas, closed in on Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng did not dodge. 10 marks of Heavenly Tao shot out from his body, turning into a terrifying heavenly might. It was like the fury of a god, bombarding the golden, poisonous blood scorpion. The terrifying Heavenly Tao energy forcefully broke open the golden, poisonous blood scorpion's tough shell. It was like a frenzied flood as it surged into its massive body, severely injuring it. Following that, the Sword Tao intent, 5 Tao intent, Life and Death Tao intent, and Heaven Tao intent continuously bombarded the golden, poisonous blood scorpion's bloody body. They severely injured its body and slowed down its approaching speed. After being bombarded by the 4 Tao intents, Green Robe had drained half of its demonic energy. Half of the golden, poisonous blood scorpion's body was badly mutilated. It had no choice but to explode its demonic core when it was 5 meters away from Yi Chunfeng. It launched a fatal attack at Yi Chunfeng. Under the condition of being severely injured, the power of the golden, poisonous blood scorpion's self-explosion was greatly reduced. It was unable to severely injure Yi Chunfeng's blood dragon scales and his body that was comparable to a low-grade Tao artifact. Enduring the terrifying destructive power, Yi Chunfeng continuously stepped out with his sword steps and tore apart the golden, poisonous blood scorpion's self-explosion. He approached Green Robe, who had turned pale with fright. "You? Who exactly are you?" Witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng using his body to block the golden poisonous blood scorpion's self-explosion, Green Robe was so shocked that his eyeballs almost popped out. He revealed a trace of fear. He felt that Yi Chunfeng was his nemesis. All of his techniques were restrained by Yi Chunfeng, and he was unable to unleash his full power. "You talk too much nonsense," Yi Chunfeng said coldly. He held the Emperor Sky's sword and interweaved with endless sword lights to launch a fatal attack at Green Robe. As the terrifying Tao intents smashed down, Green Robe's injuries continued to worsen. The high-grade heaven-grade battle armor that he was wearing was completely shattered. Stop! Stop right there!" Seeing that Green Robe had been severely injured by Yi Chunfeng and was beheaded, he took out a token and shouted, "We are guests of Xingluo, Heavenly City. If you dare to kill us, I guarantee that your Jiang clan will not be able to rest in peace." Do you think I'll believe your nonsense? Kong Sungchen, who was in complete control of the situation, looked coldly at Green Robe, who had almost poisoned him to death, and said emotionlessly. Although the Green Robes had the Xingluo Heavenly Order, Kong Sungchen did not believe that they were experts from Xingluo Heavenly City. After all, the matter of overthrowing the Jiang family was no small matter. Once it was exposed, it would bring endless trouble to Xingluo heavenly city. Kong Sung-chun, we are in the wrong this time. As long as you are willing to let us go, I guarantee that Xingluo Heavenly City will not find trouble with your Jiang clan in the future, Green Robe shouted as he dodged Yi Chunfeng's attacks. When Green Robe used Xingluo Heavenly City to pressure Kong Sung-chun, Yi Chunfeng used his sword steps and suddenly closed in on him. 5 sky demon chains broke out his body and bound Green Robe. Green Robe was severely injured and had no strength to dodge the sky demon chains. He was tightly bound by the 5 sky demon chains and lost his ability to move. When Yi Chunfeng captured Green Robe, the King of Massacre and Ling Yu had also finished their battle and defeated their opponents respectively. Jiang Yiwu, who was surrounded, was slapped to the ground by Kong Sung-chun. His face was ashen as he fell to the ground. His eyes were filled with unwillingness and despair. Kong Sung-chun, I am warning you. If anything happens to us, Xingluo Heavenly City will avenge us and destroy your Jiang clan. Green Robe, who was severely injured and was spitting out blood after being bound by the sky demon chains, warned Jiang Yiwu calmly. Senior, why don't you let me search his soul? Then we will know his identity and where he came from. Although Green Robe might have a soul imprint in his mind, Yi Chunfeng still wanted to give a try. If the soul search failed, he would use other methods to force the truth out of the remaining 3. All right, Kong Sung-chun's eyes lit up when he heard that Yi Chunfeng had the means to search his soul. Gotcha! Just as Yi Chunfeng was about to use the power of the God-Eater brain to search his soul, a crisp cracking sound was heard. The restriction that enveloped the Jiang family's old mansion suffered a heavy blow, and cracks suddenly appeared on it. 2 experts in black robes and silver devil masks, one with long black hair and the other with long white hair, exuding a dense and dangerous aura, forcefully broke through the restriction and appeared in the void. Level 5 Beast Emperors. Sensing the strength of the 2 black-robed men, Kong Sung-chun's expression changed slightly. The fact that they could forcefully break the Jiang clan's protective array was enough to show that the 2 of them had extremely terrifying attacking power. He quickly summoned the falling star hammer into his hand and looked at the 2 of them, as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Black and White Demon Envoy, help! Looking at the 2 devil-masked men who had mysteriously appeared, Green Robe and the others, who were terrified and desperate, cried for help. Even Jiang Wu, who was ashen-faced, saw a glimmer of hope. We don't want to start a massacre in your Jiang clan. Leave the 4 of them to me, and we will leave immediately. White Demon Envoy, whose snow-white hair fluttered in the wind, looked coldly at Kong Sung-chun and gave an order that was not to be disobeyed. What if I don't agree? Kong Sung-chun knew the danger of letting the tiger go back to the mountain, so he said firmly, if you don't agree, don't blame us for massacring the Jiang clan. Black Demon Envoy threatened. What an arrogant tone. I want to see today what makes you think you can massacre my Jiang clan. The muscles at the corner of Kong Sung-chun's eyes twitched violently. The Star Dao will and the Metal Dao will once again appeared in his body, and the atmosphere became restrictive. As you wish. Black Demon Envoy's eyes suddenly shot out a cold light. A strange black sword ray fell from the sky and cut through the dark night sky. It was mixed with a thick death chi and attacked Kong Sung-chun. Falling Star Hammer, break. The Star Dao will and the Metal Dao will merged into the Falling Star Hammer. The Falling Star Hammer in Kong Sung-chun's hand collided with a strange black sword ray, and energy flames surged out. Ding ding. Kong Sung-chun, who had only recovered 40% of his injuries, was forced to take 3 steps back after receiving the Black Demon Envoy's shocking attack. The blood and chi in his body rolled violently, and a stream of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Old Ancestor. When Jiang Yixian saw that Kong Sung-chun was injured, his heart tightened. He immediately came to his side and protected him. Now, do you still think I'm arrogant? Black Demon Envoy held a 6 feet 6 inches long, pitch black, and unusually sharp sword. He looked at Kong Sung-chun, who was injured by his sword, and asked proudly. After witnessing the Black Demon Envoy's strength, Kong Sung-chun fell silent. If he had recovered his peak strength, he would naturally not be afraid of the Black Demon Envoy. But now, he could only use 40% of his strength. He was no match for the Black Demon Envoy. Although Yi Qinfeng and the other two were strong and could defeat a level 4 combat Beast Emperor, the difference between a level 4 combat Beast Emperor and a level 5 combat Beast Emperor was like heaven and earth, not to mention that the two of them had Dao artifacts. After comprehensive consideration, although Kong Sungqian was unwilling, he knew that the result of stubbornly resisting would only increase the number of casualties. He sighed helplessly and was about to compromise. Seeing the change in Kong Sungqian's expression, Green Robe, Jiang Yiwu, and the others were overjoyed. Their hanging hearts were relieved. If they want to fight, let's fight. They won't let us go. Suddenly, Yi Qinfeng, who had been silent all this while, spoke. His fearless and uncompromising attitude instantly made the atmosphere tense. Mobile users, please browse to M. Reading. Mobile users reading home. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 793. Crazy. Has he gone crazy? Jiang Yiwu's blood-red eyes widened as he looked at Yi Qinfeng, who had sent him from heaven to hell. He madly roared in his heart. The four green-robed men also revealed looks of surprise. As they looked at Yi Qinfeng, their eyes became cruel and cruel. In their opinion, Yi Qinfeng was courting death. With the temperament of the black and white demon envoy, they would definitely kill him to establish their might. You are courting death. As the green-robed men guessed, just as Yi Qinfeng's voice fell, the white demon envoy's white hair suddenly fluttered in the wind. A white sword light broke out from his body like a bolt of lightning. With a sharp edge, it slashed towards Yi Qinfeng, wanting to split him in half. Sword steps. As the lightning sword light was about to strike Yi Qinfeng's body, he suddenly took a step forward. 60 sword Dao patterns shot out from under Yi Qinfeng's feet. They were like a dense rain of swords that continuously struck the sword light, forcibly shattering it. This is sword steps. The black and white demon envoy's eyes widened. They had recognized the secret sword steps. As they looked at Yi Qinfeng, there was a subtle change in their eyes. As for the sharp-eyed Yi Qinfeng, he caught the changes in the black and white demon envoy's eyes. This confirmed his guess that they were most likely related to the Yamada Divine Kingdom. Otherwise, they wouldn't have recognized the secret sword steps. Senior, this pseudo-Dao pill can restore Senior's strength for a short period of time, but it has great side effects. However, after repelling the two of them, I will help Senior recuperate. I will not allow Senior to have any side effects. Just as the black and white demon envoy was wondering about Yi Qinfeng's identity, he quickly arrived at the side of the pale Kong Sungqian. He took out a pseudo-Dao pill that he obtained from killing a prince of the Kirin Kingdom and transmitted his voice. Thank you. Kong Sungqian didn't even think about it. He immediately swallowed the pseudo-Dao pill that Yi Qinfeng handed him. Suddenly, a huge amount of medicinal power was released from Kong Sungqian's body. It merged with his weak body and dried up cells, restoring his strength. In just 3 breaths, Kong Sungqian had recovered 80% of his injuries. He was like a lion that had just woken up. He bared his sharp fangs and locked onto his prey, ready to launch a fatal blow at any moment. Feeling Kong Sungqian's invincible aura rising, Jiang Yiwu and the others' hopes were dashed. They looked at Yi Qinfeng with hatred and fear. It was Yi Qinfeng who had crushed their hopes step by step, pushing them bit by bit into the endless abyss. It seems that you won't compromise. Since that's the case, don't blame us for destroying you. The black and white demon envoys quickly communicated with each other. 2 flood dragons, one black and one white, emerged from their bodies and roared at Yi Qinfeng, Kong Sungqian, and the others. Their dragon might shook the sky. Roar! Roar! Just as the black and white demon envoys summoned their spirit beasts, a terrifying dragon roar echoed from Yi Qinfeng's body. The blood dragon emperor that had evolved a second time appeared, emitting a demonic bloodlight that dispersed the dragon might released by the black and white flood dragons. Dragon Emperor. The black and white demon envoys looked at the shining Emperor character on the blood dragon Emperor's forehead. Their eyes widened in disbelief. As for the black and white flood dragons, they were affected by the Emperor character, and their soul force was greatly reduced. Blood River helped Senior deal with the black demon envoys. Ling, and I will deal with the white demon envoys. Yi Feng transmitted his voice to the King of Slaughter and the Spirit Fish. I'll be right there. As Yi Feng spoke, he fused with the Blood Dragon Emperor. He burned his dragon bloodline and transformed into his beast soul form. Together with the Spirit Fish in the form of the Golden Eye Ape, they attacked the white demon envoys. You're courting death. Although the white demon envoys were surprised by Yi Feng's identity and the Spirit Fish's transformation, they could feel that the two of them were only first-grade combat beast emperors. They simply didn't put them in their eyes. Endless killing intent gushed out of their bodies as they wielded the low-grade Dao artifact, White Demon Sword. The streaks of white sword light were like a surging tide, lighting up the pitch-black night sky as they launched a fierce attack towards Yi Feng and Yi Qingtang. For a moment, the glaring sword light became the only thing in the world, causing people to feel fear. God's shocking fist. Facing the tide-like sword lights, Yi Feng and Ling didn't dodge. The Spirit Fish roared, and all the strength in its body erupted. It blasted out an unparalleled fist. It was like the end of the world as it bombarded the sword lights that the white demon envoys slashed down. Kachacha. Under the Spirit Fish's strongest fist attack, a large number of sword lights shattered. But in the next moment, these shattered sword lights fused together and were repaired by a powerful Dao intent. Dao intent of life, endless growth, and multiplication. Yi Feng's eyebrows twitched slightly. Life and death Dao will gushed out his body and fused into the Empyrean celestial sword. A black and white sword radiance slashed down and slashed at the dozen life Dao swords, severing their life force and shattering the life Dao swords. Extreme Dao of mysterious underworld. Yi Feng fused several Dao intents and blasted out the extreme mystic force like a raging dragon, shattering the remaining life Dao swords. He then closed in on the white demon envoys with the Spirit Fish. Seeing that Yi Feng and the Spirit Fish had worked together to destroy the white demon envoys' attacks, Kong Sungchen was relieved. He then attacked the black demon envoys with the King of Massacre, wanting to end the battle quickly and kill him. After recovering more than 90% of his strength, Kong Sungchen became even more terrifying. His snow-white hair danced wildly in the wind. His deep eyes made people feel like their guts were being torn apart. The endless killing intent made the black demon envoy's heart tremble. Sun, moon, and stars palm. He slapped out a palm that seemed to contain the sun, moon, and stars. The blazing divine light was dazzling and collapsed the void, instantly engulfing the black demon envoys. Dao intent of death, annihilation. Facing the attack of the sun, moon, and stars palm, the black demon envoys unleashed the Dao intent of death to the extreme. 75 Dao patterns of death shot out from his body and fused into the black demon sword. A sword light that cut off all vitality forcefully tore a hole in the sun, moon, and star's palm, following which a pitch-black seal with a skull embedded in it appeared on the black demon envoy's body. It kept on expanding and crashed towards Kong Sungchen. Death Demon Seal extinguished vitality. When he got close to Kong Sungchen, the black demon envoys released the power of the Death Demon Seal and launched a fatal attack. At the critical moment, the King of Massacre appeared beside Kong Sungchen and spat out a mouthful of blood into the ancient instant mirror. He activated the power of the ancient instant mirror and reflected it towards the Death Demon Seal. Although the King of Massacre's strength was far inferior to the black demon envoys, who was a level 5 beast emperor, the ancient instant mirror was a Gu Dao treasure. Its power was far superior to the Death Demon Seal. Under the attack of the King of Massacre's blood essence, The extreme speed of the light of instant forced the Death Demon Seal to retreat, helping Kong Sungchen to block this fatal attack. What? The Black Demon Envoys frowned and looked at the ancient instant mirror in the King of Massacre's hand. He was shocked by the terrifying attack power of this ancient mirror. Demonic dance of all directions. The King of Massacre wielded an inferior-grade Dao sword and instantly slashed out 8 sky demon sword slashes that were filled with destructive power. They were like tsunamis connecting the heavens and were like falling stars, blasting towards the Black Demon Envoy who had turned pale with fright. At this moment, Kong Sungchen also smashed the Falling Star Hammer towards the Black Demon Envoys. Burial Sword 4th Style, Death Slash. At this critical moment, the Black Demon Envoys transformed into a Beast Soul form and exerted the Dao intent that he had comprehended to the extreme, displaying the strongest move that he had mastered. The Black Sword Light that was fused with several Dao intents and could cut all vitality collided with the powerful attack launched by the King of Massacre, Kong Sungchen, setting off endless waves. Puff puff. When the terrifying waves of destruction became more and more intense, tearing the entire space apart, the Black Demon Envoys spat out a mouthful of blood and fell from midair. Mobile users, please browse to M. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 794. Demonic Frenzy Pill. When the Black Devil Envoy was severely injured by Kong Sungchen and the King of Massacre, he quickly swallowed a blood-red fruit that contained a powerful demonic aura. In the next moment, a terrifying demonic power erupted from the Black Devil Envoy's body, instantly suppressing his injuries and increasing his strength for a short period of time. When the Black Devil Envoy's strength was increasing with the help of the Demonic Frenzy Pill, Kong Sungchen quickly blasted out a palm. Rolling Metal Dao Will and Star Dao will merge together, turning into a sky full of lightning and stars, smashing towards the Black Devil Envoy like a meteor shower. Burial Sword 4 Styles, Death Cut. The meteor shower formed by the 2 great Dao intents came crashing down. The Black Demon Envoy once again slashed out with the Sword of Death, cutting through all obstacles. He relied on his absolute attack to break through Jiang Xingchen's attack. 9 Swords of Heaven. After Kong Sungchen's attack was broken, the King of Massacre's killer move came one after another. 9 Swords of Massacre crisscrossed, splitting the space, and slashing towards the Black Devil Envoy. Break! The 9 Swords of Heaven sealed the void and slashed down. The Black Devil Envoy in his demonic state met it head-on. He used the human weapon Unity to pierce through the 9 Swords of Heaven and launched a fatal attack on the relatively weaker King of Massacre. Buzz! 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 When the Black Devil Envoy got close, the ancient mirror in the King of Massacre's hand shot out endless instant mirror light, attacking the Black Devil Envoy, forcing him to use the Black Devil Seal to defend himself. Falling Star Hammer, Falling Star Strike. Kong Sungchen's star robe fluttered as he approached the Black Devil Envoy. He controlled the Falling Star Hammer to the size of a water tank and continuously attacked the Black Devil Envoy. Every time the Falling Star Hammer smashed down, there would be the sound of metal cracking and stone cracking. The terrifying attacks caused the void to constantly distort. The Black Demon Envoy was forced to retreat again and again, the demonic power within his body constantly exploding. Sky Demon Rope. Just as the Black Devil Envoy was about to dodge the Falling Star Hammer that Kong Sungchen controlled, the King of Massacre condensed 5 Sky Demon Devil Ropes, sealing off the space where he could dodge. He could only use all his strength to block the Falling Star Hammer's attack. The Black Devil Envoy was under the joint attack of Kong Sungchen and the King of Massacre, and was in a perilous situation. Yi Chen Feng and the Spirit Fish joined forces, but they were unable to suppress the terrifying White Devil Envoy, and were constantly being torn apart by his powerful attacks. White Devil Seal, Set the Universe. The white demon envoy realized that the black demon envoy was in danger. His attacks were being suppressed by Kong Sungqin and the King of Massacre. He quickly spat out several mouthfuls of blood into the white demon seal and controlled it to stabilize the situation. He released a powerful suppressive force to slow down the speed of Yi Chunfeng and the spiritual fish. In the next moment, the white demon envoy became one with his weapon and turned into a killing sword. He slashed out the first style of the 4 styles of burial sword, Death Cut, at an astonishing speed towards Yi Chunfeng. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng did not use his greatest trump card, the 9-dragon Jade Annulus. Instead, he summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Scarlet Thunder Pearl, Chilling Ice Pearl, and Black Devil Scissors to face the white demon envoy. Boom! 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 Following a series of deafening explosions, Yi Chunfeng used the 4 treasures to shatter the void that the white devil seal was suppressing, blocking the white demon envoy's death cut. What a powerful soul! So many quasi-Dao treasures. The white demon envoy did not expect that Yi Chunfeng, who was only a rank 1 combat beast emperor, could control 4 quasi-Dao treasures at the same time. However, when he saw Yi Chunfeng's treasures, his determination to kill Yi Chunfeng was strengthened. 4th style of burial sword, Burial Ground. The white demon envoy controlled the white devil seal to block the attacks of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and the other supreme treasures. He continued to unleash a deadly sword light at Yi Chunfeng. The terrifying sword light was like a spatial crack, swallowing Yi Chunfeng. Sword step. As the sword of the burial ground approached, Yi Chunfeng quickly took a step forward. 60 sword Dao patterns shot out in unison and attacked the sword of the burial ground, weakening its attack. When the 60 sword-based Dao patterns were shattered by the burial ground sword, the sword-based Dao patterns, 5 elements Dao, intent, life and death Dao intent, and heaven and earth Dao intent gushed out of Yi Chunfeng's body and merged into the Emperor Sky Sword. Emperor, startling heaven slash. As the sword slashed out, it was filled with the power of the Emperor. It split the void into 2 halves. The terrifying power left a trail of light in midair and clashed heavily with the burial ground sword. Kachacha. When the 2 sword moves clashed, it immediately produced a shocking destructive power. Cracks spread out rapidly with the 2 sword moves as the center. God's shocking fist. Seeing that the Emperor's startling heaven slash couldn't withstand the attack of the burial ground sword and was about to break, the spiritual fish blasted out an apocalyptic punch, forcefully shattering the burial ground sword. Emperor Sky, sword art. Could he really be from the 9 heavens divine nation? The white demon ambassador recognized the Emperor's celestial sword technique that Yi Chunfeng was using, and his brows furrowed tightly together. I would like to see how many of my sword attacks you can withstand. After a momentary loss of focus, the white demon envoy calmed himself down and continued to attack. He executed the 4 stances of the burial sword consecutively, attacking Yi Chunfeng and Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to rely on absolute attacks to kill the 2 of them. Dragon Heart Ignition. The white demon envoy's threat was too great. After being attacked by the 4 stances of the burial sword consecutively, Yi Chunfeng had no choice but to ignite the power of the Dragon Heart and explode out with his strongest power. He executed the 7 swords of judgment and the Emperor Sky sword art with all his might. The spiritual fish, who was riddled with injuries, didn't retreat. She fought alongside Yi Chunfeng and continuously executed her inherited divine ability to attack the white demon envoy. Just as Yi Chunfeng and the spiritual fish were attacking with all their might, Kong Sungqin and the King of Massacre joined forces and severely injured the black demon envoy, who had consumed the demonic frenzy pill and was close to the peak of grade 5 combat beast emperor realm. The falling star hammer controlled by Kong Sungqin had almost shattered his left arm, while the ancient mirror of instant in the King of Massacre's hand had pierced through his chest. White demon envoy, don't continue to fight. Quickly bring Green Robe and the others away. The black demon envoy, who was severely injured and had his strength greatly reduced, had no choice but to change his plan. He transmitted his voice to the white demon envoy, who was attacking with all his might, and urged him anxiously. All right. Although the white demon envoy relied on his absolute strength and attacks to suppress Yi Chen-feng and the spiritual fish, Yi Chen-feng's methods were endless. His powerful physical defense gave the white demon envoy a headache. Helpless, the white demon envoy decisively gave up on Yi Chen-feng and the spiritual fish. He drew an afterimage in the air and quickly flew towards Greenrobe and the others who were being suppressed by Jiang Yixian and the others. Lord Demon Envoy, save me. Jiang Yiwu, who was severely injured, saw the white demon envoy forcing Jiang Yixian and the others to retreat with a single sword strike. He immediately struggled to get up and shouted at the top of his lungs. But at this time, Yi Chen-feng, Kong Sung-chun, the king of massacre, and the spiritual fish rushed over and launched a fatal attack at the white demon envoy, preventing him from saving the others. Relying on his speed, after dodging the attacks of Yi Chen-feng and the other three, the white demon envoy, who had the will but not the strength, could only save the green-robed and golden-haired man. He gave up on the heavily injured black-robed, middle-aged man and black-robed old man, and escaped with the heavily injured black demon envoy. Where do you think you're going? When Kong Sung-chin saw that the black demon envoy wanted to escape, he immediately spat several mouthfuls of blood into the falling star hammer. He controlled the falling star hammer and smashed it forward, wanting to stop the two of them. However, the black demon envoy's strength was too terrifying. The two of them joined forces and resisted the falling star hammer. They tore apart the Jiang family's protective array and disappeared into the dark night sky with the two green-robed men. Mobile users, please browse to M. Reading. Mobile reading site. This book's address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 795. Great ancestor, big brother, I know I was wrong. Please let me go. I won't do it again. As the black and white demon emissaries fled, Jiang Yiwu fell into a state of panic. His legs went soft, and he knelt on the ground without any backbone. He kept kowtowing and begging for mercy, begging Jiang Xingchen to spare his life. You still have the face to beg me to let you go. Do you know that my Jiang family was almost destroyed because of you? Jiang Xingchen coldly swept a glance at the panic-stricken Jiang Yiwu and reprimanded loudly. After that, he coughed. Although he had defeated the enemy, Kong Sung-chun, who had been relying on elixirs, was also badly injured. Tell me, which force did those people you surrendered to come from? Kong Sung-chun quickly swallowed a golden elixir that emitted a strong medicinal fragrance. After stabilizing his injuries, he questioned Jiang Yiwu. I don't know. Jiang Yiwu's forehead was covered in sweat, and his face was ashen. He panicked. Senior, let me search his soul and see what he knows. Yi Chen-feng slowly walked to Jiang Yiwu, who was begging for mercy, and said, Okay, then I'll leave everything to you. Kong Sung-chun nodded and said. Kong Sung-chun agreed. Yi Chen-feng ignored Jiang Yiwu's painful struggles and used the power of the God-Eater brain to search his soul and forcibly obtain his soul memories. Just as Yi Chen-feng had guessed, Jiang Yiwu's soul did not have an imprint, so he easily obtained Jiang Yiwu's evil soul memories. How is it, Chen-feng? What does he know? Kong Sung-chun asked as he watched Yi Chen-feng remove his hand from Jiang Yiwu's head. He really doesn't know the background of those people. Those people only promised to make him the head of the Jiang family after everything was done, but he chose to betray them. All these years, he has done a lot of evil and heartless things behind our backs. It wouldn't be too much to kill someone like him 100 times. Yi Chen-feng revealed everything he knew about Jiang Yiwu's soul memories. Papa, after learning what Jiang Yiwu had done, Kong Sung-chun was furious. He slapped Jiang Yiwu twice, and the powerful force broke all of Jiang Yiwu's teeth. A large amount of blood flowed out uncontrollably from his 7 orifices. Take him away. Tomorrow morning, I will sacrifice him alive to avenge the Jiang family members who died in his hands, Kong Sungchen ordered angrily. Chengfeng, I wonder if you can perform a soul search on the two of them. I really want to know which power they are from. After the ashen-faced Jiang Yiwu was taken away by the experts of a Jiang family, Kong Sungchen looked at the two severely injured men in black who were being suppressed by the experts of the Jiang family. Senior, if I'm not wrong, someone has placed an imprint on both of their souls. Searching their souls without permission might trigger the restriction and kill them on the spot. Yi Chenfeng looked at the two black-clothed men with their eyes closed, completely resigned to their fate, and told them what had happened in the beginning. Young Master Yi, leave them to me. I have a way to make them talk. The king of Massacre, who had been in charge of Massacre City for more than 1,000 years, knew many ways to extort confessions. Senior, is it possible? Yi Chenfeng asked Kong Sungchen for his opinion. Of course, Yi Chenfeng and the other two had contributed greatly to defeating the enemy. Kong Sungchen trusted them very much and agreed without hesitation. The haze that shrouded the Jiang family gradually dissipated, and the crisis of the Jiang family was resolved. Yi Chenfeng immediately asked Fu Qingshan to escort Bai Ziqing and the others back to the Jiang family. In the previous battle, Kong Sungchen was severely exhausted. In order to prevent any sequelae, Yi Chenfeng ignored the exhaustion of his body and relied on his inherited medical skills and elixirs to constantly nurse Kong Sungchen's body and recover his depleted blood qi and soul power. Soon, the night passed. The first rays of the morning sun shone through the darkness and shone on the earth again. Phew, Senior's body has recovered. As long as you rest for another 2 days, you'll be able to recover to your peak state without any hidden injuries. Yi Chenfeng looked at the faint light outside the window and let out a long sigh of relief. He wiped the sweat off his forehead and said weakly, Chengfeng, thank you. I really don't know how to repay the kindness you have shown to my Jiang family. Kong Sungchen opened his tightly shut eyes and looked at Yi Chenfeng, who had surprised and shocked him again and again. He felt grateful from the bottom of his heart. Senior is too polite. Yi Chenfeng smiled and said in a neither arrogant nor humble tone, Let's go, Senior. Let's go see those two people and see if they have gained anything after a night of interrogation. Okay. Kong Sungchen nodded and followed Yi Chenfeng to the Jiang family's prison. They saw the two Class 4 beast emperors who had fallen into a deep coma after being nailed to the wall with dark steel cold needles. There were black worms wriggling in their bloody bodies. How is it, Blood River? What did you get? Yi Chenfeng looked at the masked king of Massacre, who was wearing a black robe and a tall and majestic figure. They are from the True Demon Clan. They are experts from the True Demon Clan, King of Massacre said. True Demon Clan? They're making a comeback? Jiang Xingchen's eyes widened, revealing a trace of surprise. Why? Does Senior know about the True Demon Clan? Seeing Kong Sungchen's surprised expression, Yi Chenfeng asked. Yes, the True Demon Clan is a real demon clan. 30,000 years ago, they had set off a bloody storm in the Xingluo continent, attempting to topple the structure of the Xingluo continent. In the end, the Xingluo Sky City united with all the major families to fight against them and finally drove them out of the Xingluo continent. However, after that battle, the structure of the Xingluo continent changed quite a bit. Many of the major families who had suffered heavy losses withdrew from the stage of history, and many other major forces, including the Sun Luo Temple, emerged. Kong Sungchen told Yi Chenfeng everything he knew about the True Demon Clan in detail. Blood River, other than their identities, what else did you get? Did the True Demon Clan work together with the Xingluo Sky City? Yi Chenfeng continued to ask. According to them, the True Demon Clan and the Xingluo Sky City do have a secret relationship, and the True Demon Clan's goal of toppling the Xingluo continent seems to be the Xingluo Imperial Tomb. King of Massacre continued. The Xingluo Imperial Tomb. Yi Chenfeng raised his eyebrows. I see. The True Demon Clan is trying to topple the major families, and they are probably after the key to the Xingluo Imperial Tomb in our hands. Kong Sungchen understood a lot of things through the King of Massacre's interrogation. Senior, Do we still need a key to open the Xingluo Imperial Tomb? Yi Chenfeng asked. The reason why Star Emperor's tomb hasn't been opened for so long isn't because the Star Luo Imperial Mausoleum is erratic and difficult to find, but because opening the Star Luo Imperial Mausoleum requires 6 keys. After so many years, the 6 keys to the Xingluo Imperial Tomb have appeared one after another. Among them, the Xingluo Sky City has 2 keys, and the Jiang family, the Bai family, the Jasper Palace, and the Sun Luo Temple have 1 each. The True Demon Clan is probably targeting the 4 major forces because we have the key to the Xingluo Imperial Tomb. The Xingluo Sky City and the True Demon Clan are secretly working together because they want the Xingluo Imperial Tomb, Kong Sungchun analyzed slowly. Since we know the True Demon Clan's true motive, we must hurry to the Bai family to rescue them. Only by holding the key to the Xingluo Imperial Tomb tightly in our hands can we gain the upper hand, Yi Chenfeng said. Yes, I will reorganize the Jiang family today and get rid of the black sheep. Tomorrow morning, we'll go to the Bai family to rescue them. Kong Sungchun nodded and said. The Jiang family's crisis was temporarily resolved because of Yi Chenfeng, but the Bai family, which was surrounded by the Sun Luo Temple, the Jasper Palace, and the Xiaohou family, was in grave danger. Mobile users, please browse to M. Mobile users, please read this website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 796. Moon City was the main city of the Bai family. It was like spring all year round. It was a picturesque city that was as beautiful as a fairyland. Every year, many cultivators would come here to admire the beauty of Moon City and feel the intent of the spirit vein beneath the city. However, Moon City was currently suffering from the baptism of war. The walls covered in ancient vines were severely damaged. The majestic and beautiful city gates were built with white jade stones that were dozens of meters tall. Half of them had collapsed. Madman Bai, your Bai family's power is gone. No one will come to save you. Stop your pointless resistance. Obediently open the ancient formation and allow yourself to be captured. A tall and mighty old man in a black robe stood with his hands behind his back. His body emitted a cold aura, and his snow-white hair fluttered in the wind. He stood under the huge light formation of Moon City and let out a dragon-like roar that reverberated in the sky above the city. Sun Tu, don't waste your breath on them. The Bai family's ancient formation won't last much longer. Let's order our men to continue attacking. I estimate that we will be able to break the formation very soon and kill our way into the city. A young woman with an elegant and otherworldly temperament appeared next to the old hall master of the Sun Luo Temple, Sun Tu, with the title of Yellow Spring. Her beauty was enough to move one's heart. She wore a green dress with a phoenix pattern, but she had a pair of crimson eyes and slowly spoke. This beautiful woman was none other than the old palace master of the Azure Jade Palace, Tseng Biua, who held the title of Fairy Bihua. As she cultivated the Azure Jade Palace's inherited Tao formula, Heaven Reversal Mantra, there were no signs of age on Tseng Biua's face. It was as though she was only in her 30s. Attack Moon City. I will twist off Madman Bai's head and sacrifice it to the Bai family's experts to relieve the hatred in my heart. Sun Tu gritted his teeth and continued to order the Sunluo Hall's experts to attack the Bai family's ancient formation. Under the fierce attacks of Sunluo Hall, Jasper Palace, and House Xiaohou, the Bai family's ancient formation was under great pressure. Dense ripples appeared on it, causing the entire Moon City to tremble. The entire city fell into panic once again. Patriarch, it's been almost a month. Qing, you still hasn't asked the Jiang family for help. Could something have happened? In the Bai family's old manor at the center of Moon City, the patriarch of the Bai family, Bai Qing Tian, heard the explosion in the sky. He furrowed his brows tightly as he looked at the old man sitting in the main seat. The old man wore linen robes and had an abnormally strong body. His skin glowed with golden light as he asked uneasily, "Sai, looks like my worries came true. The Jiang family is not in a good situation either. I'm afraid they won't have the time to come and help." Elder Bai Feng of the Bai family sighed softly. "Will ancestor, Qing you and the others be in danger?" Bai Qingtian's expression slightly changed as he started to worry about the safety of his two daughters. I was careless back then. I thought that House Jiang would be safe for the time being if Dark Azura Hall, Azure Jade Palace, and House Xiaohou attacked together. But now, it seems that there's a mastermind behind the sudden attack on House Bai. House Jiang must have been attacked as well. I'm afraid Qing, and you are already in danger. Bai Feng sighed softly. Qing you is in danger. Although he had a premonition, Bai Qingtian still felt like he was struck by lightning when he heard Bai Feng's analysis. His body trembled slightly as his mind went blank. Patriarch, since there's no one to help us, why don't we fight it out with them? Bai Qingtian clenched his fists tightly as a ferocious look appeared in his eyes. He gritted his teeth and said, "No, let's not make unnecessary sacrifices first. Let me go out and disturb them. Then, you guys can take advantage of the situation and escape." Bai Feng raised his head and drank the tea in his cup as he said resolutely, "Patriarch, it's too dangerous. If anything happens, you'll lose your life. Let me go with you." Bai Qingtian knew that Bai Feng would be in danger if he went out, so he wanted to fight by his side. "Don't worry, Qingtian, Sun Tu, Zheng Bue may be powerful, but it won't be that easy for her to kill me. Your mission is to protect the geniuses of my Bai family so that they can safely leave Crescent City. As long as the younger generation of my Bai family survives, my Bai family will be able to rise again one day. There's even more hope for us to take revenge against the mastermind." Bai Feng shook his head and said, "But no buts." Bai Feng interrupted him. "Qingtian, I've entrusted the future and hope of the Bai family to you. No matter what, don't destroy the foundation and hope of my Bai family." After saying that, the tall and sturdy Bai Feng took heavy steps and left the Bai family's old mansion, flying towards the Moon City gate that was under fierce attack. "What are you all standing around for? Hurry up and gather the geniuses of my Bai family. Once the Patriarch messes up the situation, we'll kill our way out. No matter what, we can't let the Patriarch down." Bai Qingtian knew that Bai Feng was in danger, but he knew even better that now was not the time to cry. If he wanted revenge, he had to survive. Under the fierce attacks of the experts of the three forces, cracks appeared on the Bai family's ancient formation. The tens of thousands of formation bases that covered Crescent City did not have much energy left. Just as the Bai family's ancient formation was on the brink of collapse, a gap suddenly appeared in the ancient formation. Bai Feng appeared with the low Grey Dao artifact ancient heavenly greatsword in hand. His body glowed with golden light, making him look like an invincible war god. In the next moment, Bai Feng swung the 50,000-kilogram ancient heavenly greatsword and slashed out fiercely. Thick sword lights descended from the sky like dragons and snakes, cutting through the combined attacks of the experts of the three forces and wildly reaping the lives of the experts of the three forces. "Retreat, retreat quickly." Bai Feng was a level 5 combat Beast Emperor expert. His attack power was extremely terrifying. After an intense battle, he forced back the experts of the three forces by himself. Dozens of people died under his ferocious attacks. "Madman Bai, you're finally willing to come out." Sun Tu, Zheng Bue, and the patriarch of the Xiaohou family, Xiaohou Londa, who were sitting cross-legged outside Crescent City, opened their eyes at the same time. They watched as Bai Feng unleashed his invincible might and crazily slaughtered. They quickly appeared in front of the panicking experts of the three forces and blocked Bai Feng's attacks. "Sun Tu, Zheng Bue, Xiaohou Londa, didn't you want to take Ai's life? Today, I will stand here. Let's see which one you can kill Ai." Bai Feng straightened his back and stood proudly. He pointed the ancient heavenly greatsword at the three of them with murderous intent. "Madman Bai, your life is mine. I will personally twist off your head and use it as a wine pot." Sun Tu and Bai Feng were old rivals. The two of them had fought more than once. However, during their battles, Bai Feng had brought endless humiliation to Sun Tuesday. This caused the hatred in his heart to grow thicker and thicker. He wholeheartedly wanted to kill Bai Feng with his own hands and break his heart's devil. Haha, with just a loser like you. Bai Feng laughed loudly and said arrogantly. He did not put Sun Tu in his eyes at all. Madman Bai, I will definitely kill you today. I will make you pay for your arrogance with blood. Sun Tu's eyes flashed with killing intent. He took out a low-grade Dao artifact devil bone hammer that was made from devil bone and weighed several tens of thousands of kilograms. Haha, then let's see who will have the last laugh today. As he spoke, the phantom of a desolate, ferocious beast appeared from Bai Feng's body. When he fused with his spirit beast, Bai Feng's strength skyrocketed to an extremely terrifying level. He took a step forward, and a large area of the ground collapsed. He waved the ancient heavenly greatsword and slashed at Sun Tu, who was overflowing with murderous intent. The two experts, standing at the peak of the Xingluo continent, fought fiercely outside Crescent City, shaking the nine heavens. Chapter 797. Boom! The two Dao artifacts clashed with each other. It was like millions of soldiers were fighting. The terrifying sound echoed through the nine heavens, rolling up the air violently and spreading out in all directions. After the sword strike, Bai Feng's arm muscles expanded rapidly. Rolling power poured into the ancient heavenly heavy sword. He held the sword with one hand and slashed down violently. Every sword light was like the waves of the ocean, each wave higher than the previous, rolling towards Sun Tuesday Yama tactics. Facing Bai Feng's ferocious attack, Sun Tu did not retreat. He circulated the Yama tactics at high speed, mobilizing the terrifying power of death. He held the devil bone hammer in his hand and faced the attack head-on. He did not show any signs of weakness as he fought fiercely with Bai Feng. Bai Feng and Sun Tu were both level 5 Beast Emperors. The two of them created a terrifying destructive power when they fought. Large patches of the forest were turned into nothingness, and the strange rocks on the ground were completely shattered. In less than 10 breaths of time, everything below them was destroyed. So powerful, as expected of the top experts of our Xingluo continent. Their attacks are too terrifying. Although Xiahou Longde, the patriarch of the Xiahou family, was only one step away from the 5th-grade Beast Emperor realm, he was still shocked by the destructive power of their battle. He had a feeling that if he was caught in the middle of their battle, he might be injured by the shock waves from their battle, not to mention fighting them head-on. Judging from the current situation, Sun Tu might not be Madman Bai's opponent. Although the two of them were evenly matched in midair, Zhang Biyue, who was extremely experienced in battle, could tell that Bai Feng, who was brandishing the ancient heavenly heavy sword, had the upper hand. Furthermore, the reason why Bai Feng was called Mad Demon was because he had mastered a terrifying secret divine ability. Once he entered the Mad Demon state, his battle power would increase greatly. It was extremely terrifying. Palace Lord Zhang, why don't we both attack together and help Palace Lord Sun kill Madman Bai? Xiahou Longde suggested. Let's wait a little longer. Zhang Biyue shook her head and said, Sun Tu is challenging Madman Bai despite knowing that he is no match for Madman Bai. He must have a powerful trump card. If he wants to eliminate the heart demon that Madman Bai brought to him, he can only defeat Madman by himself. All right then. Thinking about how his 3 factions had complete control of the situation and how the Bai family's momentum was gone, Xiahou Longde suppressed his urge to help and patiently watched the battle, waiting. Ancient sword technique, sky-splitting. The two of them fought in midair for hundreds of rounds. Then, Bai Feng suddenly changed his move. The air beneath his feet suddenly surged, turning into a monstrous wave. He slashed down with his sword, causing the entire space to tremble. The terrifying sword light seemed to split the sky as it slashed towards Sun Tu, whose expression had changed. Break! Sun Tu roared. His Death Dao intent and Earth Dao intent completely erupted. He held the Devil Bone Hammer in his hand and fused the 2 Dao intents to meet the attack head-on. Relying on his powerful attack, he forcefully blocked Bai Feng's sky-splitting sword light. Slash! While Shinto was forcefully resisting the sky splitter, Bai Feng let out a low roar and slashed down with his sword again. The power of the sword was unimaginably strong. It gave Shintu a huge pressure and forced him to the ground. All the blood and qi in his body churned violently. Bloodline ignition, beast soul form. Sun Tu took a deep breath and forcefully swallowed the blood that was about to come out of his mouth. He ignited his bloodline power and transformed into his strongest beast soul form. He stepped on the void and launched a fierce counterattack towards Bai Feng. Ancient Jianhai. Shintu transformed into his beast soul form and closed in on Bai Feng. Bai Feng's aura also reached its peak at this moment. He quickly swung the ancient heavenly heavy sword and slashed out wave after wave. It was like an endless sea of sword waves that swept toward Shintu. At this moment, Bai Feng gave off the feeling of an ocean. A roaring ocean that could destroy the world. Earth-shattering explosion. After being engulfed by Bai Feng's ancient Jinhai, Sun Tu's beast soul form also used his ultimate move. He pushed his Death Dao intent and Earth Dao intent to the extreme. He rapidly swung the Devil Bone Hammer, shaking the world and distorting the void. He forcefully blasted a huge hole in the ancient Jinhai. Golden Body Secrets. When Bai Feng was engulfed by the destructive storm, he quickly used his secret divine ability. His entire body shone with golden light, like a blazing sun, blocking the destructive force formed by the collision of the two great Dao skills. Sin 2. If your strength doesn't improve significantly, then this day next year will probably be your death anniversary. After transforming into his golden body form, Bai Feng once again slashed out an unimaginable sword attack. He broke Sun Tu's earth-shattering explosion and forced him to retreat. How can this Bai Feng be so strong? Hall Master Sun Tu's beast soul form is still unable to suppress him. Seeing Bai Feng's golden light, Xiahou Londa revealed a look of deep shock. He was shocked by Bai Feng's astonishing battle strength. This Bai Feng is indeed a madman. He hasn't appeared in the Xingluo continent for decades. I'm afraid he has been cultivating crazily, trying to break through to the level 6 Beast Emperor realm. In terms of strength, he should be much stronger than Sun Tuesday. Zheng Biyue's eyes shot out a strong battle intent as she spoke indifferently. Heavenly Demon Blood Arts. His attacks were suppressed by Bai Feng again and again. This made Sun Tu feel extremely humiliated. In order to kill Bai Feng and destroy his inner demon, he used his final trump card. Boom! Endless blood qi burst out from Sun Tu's body. He burned his blood qi and overdrew his body to forcefully raise his strength to the peak of level 5 Beast Emperor realm. Hall Master Sun Tu's strength has increased so much. Feeling Sun Tu's increasing strength, Xiahou Londa revealed a look of surprise. Zheng Biyue's charming eyes also revealed a trace of surprise. She vaguely guessed the origin of this mystic art that Sun Tu grasped, which overdrew the body as the price. Lunatic Bai, you will definitely die today. After burning his blood qi and overdrawing his body, Sun Tu unleashed an astonishing battle strength. With a roar, he shattered the air and smashed the demonic bone hammer towards Bai Feng. As a level 5 Beast Emperor, Sun Tu's strength had reached a terrifying level. He swung the demonic bone hammer and attacked crazily. He gradually suppressed Bai Feng, forcing him to transform into his beast soul form and increase his battle strength to fight with all his strength. Boom, boom, boom. Earth-shattering sounds kept ringing in the air. Bai Feng and Sun Tu fought fiercely from the sky to the ground, and then from the ground to the sky. The terrifying power shook the earth and cracked the earth continuously. It was a chaotic scene. Just as the two of them used all their skills and the battle reached its climax, Bai Feng suddenly summoned the Bai family's treasure, the ancient sword disc, and attacked Sun Tuesday Whoosh. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 6 low-grade Dao instruments, ancient swords, flew out of the ancient sword heavenly plate and tore the void apart. Like 6 thunderbolts, they struck towards Sun Tuesday, Taoist artifact, astral shield. At the critical moment, Sun Tu summoned the Sun Luo Temple's only Taoist artifact, an ancient shield shining with starlight. It blocked in front of him and blocked the attacks of the 6 ancient swords. The reason why Bai Feng and Sun Tu were like fire and water was because Bai Feng had the ancient sword disc, which was a Taoist artifact, and Sun Tu had the indestructible astral shield. The battle between the two of them was a battle of spear and shield. Just as Sun Tu used the astral shield to block the attacks of the 6 ancient swords, Bai Feng used a strange footwork and suddenly disappeared in front of him. In the next moment, Sun Tu felt danger behind him and quickly turned around to block. But at this moment, Bai Feng used his last trick and turned into a berserk demon. He held the ancient sword disc and fiercely stabbed at the demonic bone hammer that Sun Tu used to block in a hurry. Endless sparks were created. The terrifying power passed through the demonic bone hammer and into Sun Tu's body, injuring his arms and causing a large amount of blood to spurt out. In the peak battle, Sun Tu was injured. Mobile users, please browse to read. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 798. Injured. Hall Master Sun is injured. Seeing that Sun Tu had suddenly transformed into a berserk demon and injured by Feng, Xiahou Londa's expression changed slightly. He quickly looked at Zhang Biyue. Sigh. Sun Tu's momentum is gone. After being injured by Bai Feng, he probably won't be able to reverse the situation. Although Sun Tu's demonic blood arts was terrifying, Bai Feng had hidden it too deeply. In his berserk demon state, he was almost invincible. So, seeing that Sun Tu was injured, Zhang Biyue's feet flashed with a green light. She immediately appeared in midair and joined the battle. Zhang Biyue, you're finally going to help. Looking at the peerlessly beautiful Zhang Biyue, Bai Feng revealed an unruly smile. There was no trace of fear on his face as he said slowly, "This little sister really didn't expect that Brother Bai would be so far ahead of us after not seeing him for a few decades. If it wasn't for this unforeseen event, I think Brother Bai would be able to follow Sha Tianya and become the second level 6 Beast Emperor in Xingluo continent within 100 years. But now, I'm afraid it won't be possible." Zhang Biyue's long skirt fluttered in the wind as she spoke with a pleasant voice. Every frown and smile of hers was mesmerizing. "Judging from your tone, you think you can win against me if you join forces with that trash?" Bai Feng said overbearingly. "Madman Bai, I swear I will destroy your Bai family with my own hands. I will kill everyone in your family and let them reunite in the underworld." Sun Tu wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said while gritting his teeth. Even though he had mastered the demonic blood arts and exhausted his body, he still lost to Bai Feng. This made Sun Tu feel extremely humiliated. Ha ha ha. Trash will always be trash. It's useless no matter how many techniques you have. Bai Feng laughed loudly and said, I'm right here. Whoever wants to take my life, come at me. Yama tactics, Yama's heavenly wheel. Shintu was so angry that his chest was about to explode. He roared furiously and circulated the Yama tactics to the extreme. Dozens of heavenly wheels filled with the will of the Tao of Death broke out of his body, cutting through the air and attacking Bai Feng. When Shintu attacked with all his strength, a large flag with a cold crow engraved on it appeared in Zhang Biyue's hand. She quickly waved it, creating an endless amount of cold air that stirred up the heavens and earth. It was like a divine bird that swept over. Sky Splitter Lawbreaker. Shintu and Zhang Biyue launched their attacks at the same time, but Bai Feng still didn't retreat. He swung the ancient heavenly heavy sword fiercely, cleaving apart the heaven and earth, destroying all laws. The terrifying ancient warship cut through the dozens of Yama's heavenly wheels and tore apart Zhang Biyue's divine bird-cold energy. Tao Treasure Lotus Diagram. The crazy Bai Feng was too terrifying. When he broke through Zhang Biyue's and Shintu's attacks, an ancient diagram full of lotuses appeared behind Zhang Biyue and danced in the wind. In the next moment, 6 lotuses slowly bloomed, forming a lotus diagram. They were vivid and lifelike as they surrounded and attacked Baifeng. Ancient sword, heavenly disc, defend. As an old opponent, Baifeng knew the destructive power of the lotus diagram. He immediately summoned 6 ancient swords and circled around his body to defend against the 6 blooming lotuses, not giving them a chance to get close. Boom, boom, boom. When the 6 lotuses collided with the ancient swords summoned by Baifeng, they exploded. The terrifying explosive force instantly engulfed Baifeng and battered his body. Die! Shinto also launched a fatal attack at Baifeng. His entire body merged with the devil bone hammer and smashed into the center of the explosion like a falling hill. Baifeng, who was defending with all his strength, was smashed to the ground, creating a large crater. Not good. The forefather is injured. The people of House by who were gathered together and waiting for an opportunity to break out of the encirclement became nervous when they saw that Baifeng was no match for Shinto and Zhengbiyue. The people of Senluo Hall, Jade Palace, and House Xiahou were pleasantly surprised. Madman Bai, you've lost your advantage. Die. After smashing Baifeng with his hammer, Shinto was overjoyed. He chased after him with the devil bone hammer, wanting to injure him severely and end the battle. Bang! The hard ground suddenly exploded. Baifeng, who was covered in blood, shattered the ground and suddenly flew out of Moon City. Where do you think you're going? Shinto and Zhengbiyue immediately chased after Baifeng at full speed when they saw him running away. They knew very well that if Baifeng were to escape, it would bring endless trouble to their 2 factions. If Baifeng were to break through to the 6th grade combat Beast Emperor realm in the midst of adversity, it would bring calamity to their 2 factions. What are you waiting for? Attack together and kill Baifeng with all your strength. He must die. Shinto, who was enraged, ordered loudly. Hearing Shinto's order, the experts of the 3 major forces attacked with all their might. The attacks were like a tidal wave, causing the sky to change color. The entire void was in chaos. Gu Jianhai. The densely packed attacks sealed off Baifeng's escape route. Baifeng didn't dodge, nor did he slow down. He kept waving his ancient heavenly heavy sword, creating waves of sword sea that were each higher than the previous one. He tore through the layers of space and forcefully broke out of the encirclement. Disciples of the Bai family, listen to my order. Follow me and escape towards the northwest. Just as Baifeng attracted everyone's attacks by himself, the head of the Bai family, Bai Qingtian, made a prompt decision. He opened up a gap in the broken ancient formation of the Bai family and led the experts of the Bai family out of the Moon City. They escaped towards the northwest, where the defense was the weakest. Bai Qingtian took the lead and led the Bai family to break out of the encirclement. Suddenly, terrifying wolf howls rang out. A black wolf that was almost 10 meters long and covered in black fur appeared. It had 3 eyes and a mouth full of sharp fangs. 8th grade heavenly beast, 9 Netherwolf. Looking at the black wolf with red eyes and roaring angrily, Bai Qingtian immediately recognized it. This black wolf was a 9 Netherwolf worshipped by the San Luo Temple. Its strength was equivalent to a 4th grade combat beast emperor. It was extremely terrifying. Leave the 9 Netherwolf to me. You guys continue to break out of the encirclement. Bai Qingtian didn't care about his own safety and reminded them, remember, you are all members of the Bai family. No matter what, you must survive. The future of the Bai family depends on you. Head, don't talk nonsense. Break out of the encirclement. Bai Qingtian roared. He held an abnormally sharp, low-grade Dao sword in his hand and engaged in a fierce battle with a 9 Netherwolf that was pouncing towards him with red eyes. Stop your futile struggle. You won't be able to escape. Just as the people of the Bai family endured their grief and tried their best to break out of the encirclement, a large number of black-clothed men suddenly appeared in the forest to the northwest of the Moon City and intercepted the experts of the Bai family. At this moment, Xiahou Londa led the experts of the Xiahou family and hurried over, sealing off the escape route of the Bai family. The Bai family can be wiped off the face of the Xingluo continent. The fourth-grade combat beast Emperor Xiahou Londa roared ferociously. He held a dragon-head-long spear in his hand and charged into the group of experts of the Bai family. He was like a merciless executioner, crazily harvesting the ferocity of the experts of the Bai family. Let's fight it out with them. Killing one is enough. Killing two is a win. With their escape route sealed, the experts of the Bai family no longer try to break out of the encirclement. Instead, they engaged in a fierce battle with the black-clothed experts and the experts of the Xiahou family outside the Moon City. Because the experts of the Bai family were prepared to die, they would self-destruct whenever they were heavily injured, causing great damage to the three major powers. The tragic situation became more and more intense. Large amounts of blood and qi mixed together and filled the void. The sky outside the Moon City was dyed blood red, as if doomsday had arrived. Remember the website, Sandwich Chinese Network. Chapter 799. Blood Clouds. Blood clouds have appeared in the outskirts of Moon City. Something has happened to the Bai family. The Zhang family's experts, who were riding flying heavenly beasts, saw the chilling blood clouds floating in the sky above Moon City. They immediately guessed that something had happened to the Bai family. Let's go and speed up the rescue. After Yi Chunfeng's treatment, Kong Sungchen, who had completely recovered from his injuries, stepped into the air and flew toward the outskirts of Moon City at a speed several times faster than the speed of light. After Kong Sungchen, Yi Chunfeng, the king of massacre, Ling Yu, Fu Qingshan, Jiang Yixian, and the other experts of the Jiang family followed closely behind to rescue him. Lunatic Bai, this day next year will be your doomsday. Give me your life. After an intense battle, Shintu and Zheng Biyue, completely suppressed by Feng's attacks, broke his golden body and aggravated his injuries. Looking at Bai Feng, who was vomiting blood and retreating, Shintu revealed a sinister smile. Lotus Diagram. Just as Bai Feng was in danger and trying his best to break out of the encirclement, Zheng Biyue launched a fatal attack on him. 6 lotuses filled with destructive power floated out of the Lotus Diagram and attacked the heavily injured Bai Feng. At this time, Shintu also threw out the astral shield, tearing a crack in the void, wanting to kill Bai Feng in one fell swoop. When the 2 Dao treasures launched their attacks, Bai Feng's expression changed slightly. He continuously spat blood essence into the ancient sword Tian Pan and controlled the 6 ancient generals to defend himself. If he could not block the fatal attack of the Lotus Diagram and the Astral Shield, Bai Feng would undoubtedly be severely injured and lose his ability to fight. Lunatic Bai, don't panic. I'm here to help you. At this time, a deep and simple voice sounded. Kong Sungchen rushed over like a meteor. Star King. Hearing Jiang Xingchen's voice, Bai Feng was surprised. Then, a look of pleasant surprise appeared on his face. His fading fighting spirit reached its peak at this moment, and he controlled the power of the 6 ancient generals to defend himself. On the other hand, Sun Tu and Zheng Biyue's expressions changed drastically. They couldn't believe that Kong Sungchen would arrive in time. Boom, boom, boom. 6 terrifying explosions rang out as the 6 lotuses exploded at the same time, forming a terrifying destructive attack. It was like a roaring wave that wanted to tear Bai Feng apart. Amidst the destructive power that shattered the void, the astral shield was like a hot knife through butter, cutting through everything. It wanted to take advantage of the momentum to split Bai Feng's body. Gu Jin Tian. At the critical moment, Bai Feng wielded the ancient heavenly greatsword and controlled the 6 ancient swords to execute the strongest attack he had grasped. He controlled the heavens and the earth, separated the void, and bombarded the fatal attacks of the 2 great Dao treasures. Although the Taoist skill that Bai Feng used with the ancient heavenly sword disc was terrifying, he couldn't perform Gu Jintian's strongest attack because he was severely injured. The spaceship that separated the void was destroyed by the 2 Taoist treasures, which directly endangered his life. At this critical moment, Kong Sungchen arrived in time. His whole body merged with the falling star hammer and smashed down like a small mountain. He broke the Lotus Diagram and the Astral Shield's fatal attack, saving Bai Feng. Lunatic, quickly take this elixir. Let's fight the enemy together. Kong Sungshin felt that Bai Feng's physical condition was not good. He immediately took out a precious elixir and stuffed it into his mouth. Star King, quickly ask the masters of your Jiang family to save my disciples. They are surrounded and their lives are in danger, Bai Feng said anxiously. Okay. Kong Sungshin nodded and ordered, disciples of the Jiang family, listen up. Quickly rescue the Bai family and kill the enemy. Senior, don't worry. Leave the rescue of the Bai family to me. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng flapped his golden rock wings and flew toward the Bai family's masters who were fighting fiercely. Kong Sungshin, why are you here? They were about to kill Bai Feng, but Kong Sungshin appeared at this time. This made Sun Tu feel unhappy. It could be said that the arrival of Jiang Xingchen and his men had completely ruined their plan, causing their plan to kill Bai Feng and massacre the Bai family to fail. Why can't I be here? Kong Sungchun, who was very powerful, looked at Sun Tu coldly and said sarcastically, Sun Tu, I haven't seen you for many years. I didn't expect you to become someone's lackey. I really underestimated your shamelessness. You. Hearing Kong Sungchun's sarcasm, Sun Tu was so angry that his eyes spat out thick flames. However, Zheng Biyue was much calmer. She said in a low voice, don't hesitate. Quickly attack. We have to kill Madman Bai before he can suppress his injuries. If we delay any longer, you and I will be in trouble. Okay. Sun Tu gritted his teeth. Ignoring the injuries on his body, he performed the heavenly demon blood art again. He overdrew his body and increased his strength. Then, he attacked Bai Feng with a demon bone hammer. Bai Feng, quickly suppress your injuries. Leave the two of them to me. Among the four, Kong Sungchen was the oldest. His strength was on par with Bai Feng's. Seeing Sun Tu and Zheng Yue attacking together, he immediately stood in front of Bai Feng and prepared to take the two's attack head-on. Haha, it's just a small injury. It won't affect me from chopping off Huang Quan's dog head. Bai Feng laughed loudly and said arrogantly. Ignoring his injuries, he entered the berserk demon state again. He fought fiercely with Sun Tu, who was full of vitality. He was undoubtedly a battle maniac. Seeing that Bai Feng was not at a disadvantage in the fierce battle with Sun Tu, Kong Sungchun was relieved. He controlled the falling star hammer to attack the peerlessly beautiful Zheng Biyue. Cold black flag, frost falling sky. As Kong Sungchun attacked, Zheng Biyue's graceful body surged with the Tao of water and Tao of light. She quickly waved the cold black flag in her hand, forming a frost that swept across the sky and attacked Kong Sungchun. Sun, Moon, and Star Palm. The frost that stirred up the sky and earth attacked. The Tao of star and Tao of metal merged into Kong Sungchun's right palm. He struck out with his palm, which seemed to contain the sun, moon, and stars. It changed the space and directly tore apart the frost storm, breaking Zheng Biyue's attack. Cold black sky raid. After the frost was broken, Zheng Biyue continued to release the power of Tao. She waved the cold black flag and condensed a cold black crow that seemed to be condensed from ice. It stirred up a large amount of cold air and attacked Kong Sungchun. Zheng Biyue, we haven't seen each other for dozens of years. How did your strength drop so much? Faced with Zheng Biyue's continuous attacks, Kong Sungchun rushed forward without slowing down. He held the falling star hammer and shook the sky and earth. He smashed the cold black crow with one strike and approached Zheng Biyue, whose expression changed slightly and who was retreating quickly. Lotus diagram. As Kong Sungchun approached, Zheng Biyue immediately merged the two Tao intents into the lotus diagram. She wanted to condense a destructive lotus and attack Kong Sungchun. Boom! The moment the lotus diagram condensed into a lotus, Kong Sungchun threw the falling star hammer that had transformed into the size of a water tank and fiercely bombarded the lotus diagram. The terrifying power shattered the lotus formed in the lotus diagram and disrupted Zheng Biyue's attack. Then, Kong Sungchun unleashed his powerful combat strength to the extreme. The Tao intents of star and Tao of metal complemented each other and attacked Zheng Biyue fiercely, who was biting her red lips. He instantly suppressed her attacks and kept worsening her injuries. Kong Sungqin used his absolute strength to suppress Zheng Biyue and entered a frenzied state. Bai Feng, who only knew how to kill, also suppressed Sun Tuesday. Under the control of the Yin-Yang Dao Intense, the heavenly ancient sword disc was like a hot knife through butter. It attacked crazily and forced Sun Tu to control the astral shield to defend himself with all his might. Standing at the top of the pyramid of Xingluo continent, the battle between the four people became more and more intense. They fought until the sky was dark and the earth was shaking. When the battle between the four of them reached its climax, Yi Chunfeng and the others killed their way to the northwest of the Moon City. Like an unsheathed divine sword, they cut through the encirclement of the three forces and rescued the masters of the Bai family. Remember the website, Sandwich Chinese Network. Chapter 800. Instant Kill Sword. Taking the lead, Yi Chunfeng locked onto the 9 Netherwolf that was fighting with the Bai family's patriarch by Qingtian. His entire body instantly merged with the Emperor's Sky Sword, piercing through the sky and piercing towards the wolf. When the Emperor's Sky Sword pierced the 9 Netherwolf, 25 million gene of force and several great Dao wills erupted at the same time, breaking through the 9 Netherwolf's eerie light and piercing its neck. Oh, the 9 Netherwolf's strong defense was broken by Yi Chunfeng's sword. A large amount of blood flowed out from the wound on its neck, causing the 9 Netherwolf to howl in pain. Ancient sword technique, Sky Rend. While the 9 Netherwolf was injured by Qingtian immediately launched a fatal attack on it. The terrifying sword light tore through the space and ruthlessly slashed the 9 Netherwolf's huge body, sending it flying. Qingtian, don't panic. We're here. At this moment, Jiang Yixin appeared right behind Yi Chunfeng. His voice was like a drum that resounded through the 9 heavens. Jiang family's experts. Seeing Jiang Yixin and the others appear in time, Bai Qingtian and the others who were fighting fiercely were overjoyed. Their weakened aura also recovered to its peak at this moment. Kill the invaders and avenge our dead brothers. The Bai family's experts roared furiously. They were like mad lions, launching a fierce counterattack against the experts of the 3 major powers. The King of Massacre, Ling Yu, Jiang Yixin, and the others also played a decisive role in this chaotic battle. They crazily reaped the lives of the experts of the 3 major powers, completely scattering their formation. There's a change of plans. Retreat. The combat strength of Yi Chunfeng and the Jiang family's experts was too terrifying. Feeling that the situation was completely out of control, Xiahou Londa made a prompt decision to retreat with the experts of the Xiahou family. Wrath of Divine Punishment. Many of House Xiahou's experts retreated at full speed. Yi Chunfeng stood in their way alone. Extreme Ancient Lightning, Dual Polarity Ancient Divine Water, and Death Blaze spewed out of his body, transforming into a tsunami of divine punishment that slammed into dozens of House Xiahou experts and slowed them down. In the next moment, the King of Slaughter appeared beside Yi Chunfeng. He controlled the ancient instant mirror to shoot out boundless instant mirror light, attacking the experts of House Xiahou who were resisting the divine wrath with all their might. Every time the instant mirror flashed, a member of House Xiahou would be gravely injured. When the wrath of divine retribution dissipated, apart from Xiahou Londa and a few others who managed to break out of the encirclement, the other expert from House Xiahou had all been gravely injured by the ancient instant mirror. They lay in pools of blood, howling in pain, while Yi Chunfeng and the King of Massacre were dealing heavy damage to House Xiahou's experts. Dark Azura Hall, Green Jade Palace, and the mysterious black-clothed experts began to break through the encirclement. Even the heavily injured 9 Netherwolf abandoned by Qingtian and Jiang Yixin and fled into the mountains, disappearing without a trace. Brother, what happened to you? Just as the enemies retreated and the Bai family's might was dispelled, Bai Ziqing and Bai Yu saw a tall young man who looked similar to them lying in a pool of blood. His breathing had become extremely weak. Their hearts tightened and they quickly ran over. Kinga, Bai Qingtian also appeared beside the young man at this moment. He quickly fed him 2 heaven-ranked soul pills, stopping the blood from flowing out of his chest and healing him. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Bai Qing Tian, who was on the verge of death, tried his best to squeeze out a smile and said weakly, Shuehe, Ling Yu, let's go help Senior Star King. After the crisis was resolved, Yi Chenfeng, Ling Yu, and the King of Massacre flew into the void to help Kong Sungqin and Bai Feng deal with Sun Tu and Zheng Biyue, suppressing these two great enemies. Damn, fly in the void. That little girl is a combat beast emperor expert. Seeing Ling Yu fly away in the void, many masters of the Bai family were shocked by her amazing strength. Some of them even cursed directly, which greatly damaged their confidence. Huang Quan, the situation is out of control. Let's break out and leave quickly. Zheng Biyue found that the attack on the Bai family had failed and the masters of the three forces had been completely defeated. She immediately sent a message to Sun Tu, who was defending himself with all his strength, to break out and leave quickly. She felt that if she stayed any longer, she and Sun Tu might die here. Okay. Although he was unwilling, Sun Tu also knew that the situation was hopeless. He decisively abandoned Bai Feng, who was fiercely attacking, and tried his best to break out and leave. But when he turned around, his pupils suddenly shrank into the most dangerous pinhole shape. He saw a terrifying sword ray, carrying with it a boundless destructive power, slashing towards him. The sky seemed to be completely torn apart by this sword, stirring up chaos in the firmament. Astral Shield, defend. Feeling the fearsomeness of this sudden attack, Gloom Butcher immediately controlled the Star Shield to defend, blocking Yi Chenfeng's sword attack that came at him at an extremely fast speed. God's shaking fist. The spirit fish stepped on the 8 divine ape shadows and suddenly approached. The fist radiance, which was like the fist radiance of Doomsday, fiercely bombarded the Star Shield. The terrifying explosive power forcibly pushed back Sun Tu, who was heavily injured and obviously exhausted, by several meters. 7 Swords of Judgment, Annihilation. Yi Chenfeng did not give Sun Tu any chance to catch his breath. The Annihilation sword light slashed out, shattering the sky. From afar, this sword looked like a continuously extending spatial crack, destroying space. Smelling the aura of death from Yi Chenfeng's sword, the heavily injured Sun Tu clenched his teeth and continued to control the astral shield to defend. Boom! The Annihilation sword light slashed onto the astral shield and exploded with a shocking power, forcing Sun Tu to retreat. The blood in his body started to boil, and his injuries worsened. Just as Sun Tu was desperately trying to break out, the King of Massacre appeared on his escape route. He controlled the ancient Mirror of Moment to attack fiercely, sealing off his escape route. Sun Tu was surrounded by Yi Chenfeng and the other two and was in danger. If not for the Astral Shield's strong defense, he would have been suppressed by Yi Chenfeng and the other two. At this moment, Zheng Biyue also used all her skills to escape. Little friend Yi, Miss Spiritual Fish, don't worry about Sun Tuesday. Let's work together to suppress Zheng Biyue. Her mind should be controlled by someone. When Kong Sungqin and Bai Feng were trying their best to stop Zheng Biyue, Kong Sungqin shouted at Yi Chenfeng and the Spiritual Fish. Okay. Hearing Kong Sungqin shout, Yi Chenfeng and the Spiritual Fish immediately gave up on attacking Sun Tu and surrounded Zheng Biyue, suppressing her with all their might. Seeing that Zheng Biyue was in danger, the heavily injured Sun Tu clenched his teeth and did not help. Instead, he selfishly took the opportunity to escape. Suzaku Cauldron, suppress. When Zheng Biyue's attacks were being suppressed, Yi Chenfeng controlled the Suzaku Cauldron to descend from the sky and suppress Zheng Biyue, forcefully suppressing her from midair to the ground. Lotus Diagram, destroy it. With her body suppressed by the Suzaku Cauldron, Zheng Biyue, who seemed to have gone crazy, kept spitting blood essence into the Lotus Diagram, forcibly forming destructive lotuses. However, at this moment, the King of Massacre appeared and controlled the Gudao Treasure's ancient Mirror of Xana to suppress the Lotus Diagram, shattering all the destructive lotuses formed by the Lotus Diagram. Sky Devil Rope. When Zheng Biyue's most lethal weapon, the Lotus Diagram, was suppressed, Yi Chenfeng immediately formed the Sky Devil rope and bound Zheng Biyue's beautiful body. Bai Feng continuously struck out with the Yin Yang Dao intent into Zheng Biyue's body, who was struggling violently, and finally suppressed her. After gathering everyone's strength to suppress Zheng Biyue, Kong Sungchen quickly took out a Lishua pill and stuffed it into Zheng Biyue's mouth to confuse her soul and consciousness. Soon, the Lishua pill exploded in Zheng Biyue's body. A strong bewitching power seeped into Zheng Biyue's injured soul, causing her consciousness to become more and more blurred. In the end, Zheng Biyue fell into a deep coma and lost consciousness. Kong Sungchen brought her back to the Bai family's old mansion. Mobile users, please browse to Reading. Mobile reading site. This book's address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 801. Star King. It's all thanks to your timely arrival. Without your help, my Bai family wouldn't have been able to survive this calamity. I'm afraid that my family would have been annihilated. Bai Feng, whose body was riddled with wounds, but he was in good spirits, sat in the main hall of the Bai family. He looked at Kong Sungchen, who had saved the Bai family from this calamity. Mad Devil, the person you should be thanking is not me, but little friend Yi and the others. If it wasn't for their life-risking help, my Jiang family wouldn't have been in a better state than your Bai family. Kong Sungchen shook his head and told Bai Feng everything that had happened to the Jiang family. He was the one who saved you. Bai Feng had already guessed that the Jiang family might have been attacked as well. After listening to Kong Sungchen's explanation, he found out that Yi Chenfeng was the true hero behind the scenes. He was the one who had saved the Jiang family, allowing Kong Sungchen to bring the Jiang family's experts to rescue them in time. Senior, you're too serious. This is what I owe the Bai family, so it's only right that I repay you, Yi Chenfeng said with a smile. This, little friend Yi, may I know what relationship you have with my Bai family? Looking at Yi Chenfeng's unfamiliar face, Bai Feng couldn't think of any reason why the Bai family had done him a favor. Old ancestor, Cheng Feng is the genius that I mentioned to you before. He's the genius that I met in Slaughter City, Bai Feng explained when she saw the puzzled look on Bai Feng's face. So it's him. Bai Feng's eyes widened. His pale face was filled with shock. He clearly remembered that when Bai Ziqing mentioned Yi Chenfeng, he was only of the mystic beast ancestor realm. However, in just 10 years, not only did he break through to the rank 1 combat beast emperor realm, he even had the strength to fight against a rank 5 combat beast emperor. This shocking transformation made Bai Feng feel that it was inconceivable. Who would have thought that a little bit of kindness would actually change the fate of my Bai family? Little friend Yi, I don't know what you need, but as long as my Bai family can do it, we will definitely satisfy you, Bai Feng promised emotionally. Senior, you're too polite. To you, it may seem like a small favor, but to me, it's a great favor. You've helped me a lot. Yi Chenfeng said, neither haughty nor humble. All right, enough with the pleasantries. Let's get down to business. We can thank Cheng Feng after we've truly resolved this crisis, Kong Sungchen said. All right, Bai Feng was also a free and easy person, so he didn't dwell on the matter of gratitude. He said, Star King, I wonder if you found the mastermind behind the plan to overturn the situation of my Xingluo continent. Got it. Kong Sungchen nodded. Is the mastermind behind the plan from Xingluo Heavenly City? Bai Feng raised his eyebrows slightly and asked. Xingluo Heavenly City is indeed involved, but the mastermind behind the plan isn't them. It's the true demon tribe that caused a bloodbath in the Xingluo continent more than 30,000 years ago. Kong Sungchen told Bai Feng and the others everything he knew. The true demon tribe, they're making a comeback. Although Bai Feng didn't experience the catastrophe more than 30,000 years ago, he had heard of how terrifying the true demon tribe was from the old man of the Bai family. If it wasn't for the catastrophe more than 30,000 years ago, the Xingluo continent would have been on par with a rank 9 divine kingdom. The true demon tribe's goal this time is to destroy Xingluo Heavenly City because we have the key to open the Xingluo Imperial Tomb. Kong Sungchen nodded and said, based on the current situation, the Sun Luo Temple and Jasper Palace keys should be in the hands of the true demon tribe. In addition to the 2 keys from Xingluo Heavenly City, they only need the 2 keys in our hands to open the Xingluo Imperial Tomb. The Xingluo Imperial Tomb. They want the Star King's inheritance. Bai Feng frowned and said in a low voice, it's not just the true demon tribe that wants the Star King's inheritance. The Xingluo Heavenly City should want it as well. After all, the Star King was an existence that killed a Sky Domain Grand Elder. His inheritance should be coveted by the Nirvana Realm old monsters. Kong Sungchen said, it seems like you and I need to be careful. Before they achieve their goal, they will not give up. Bai Feng said with a serious tone. Yes, but there is one person who might be able to help us. Kong Sungchen said, you mean Zhang Biyue? How experienced was Bai Feng? From Jiang Xingchen's words, she immediately guessed who he was referring to. Yes, it is Zhang Biyue. Kong Sungchen nodded and said, according to my observations, Zhang Biyue and Sun Tu situation are different. Sun Tu really joined the true demon tribe, or rather, the Sun Luo Temple was a hidden chess piece that the true demon tribe left in the Xingluo continent. However, Zhang Biyue is different. Her soul should be controlled by someone. Zhang Biyue is a rank 5 combat beast emperor. If her soul was really controlled by someone, then the seal in her soul would not be small. Xing Wang, how confident are you in breaking the seal in her soul? Bai Feng asked. This, I should have a 20 to 30% chance. If you can help me, I might have a 50% chance. Kong Sungchen said after thinking for a while. Senior, why don't you let this junior try? As long as the seal in Senior Zhang's soul does not explode, this junior has an 80% chance of breaking the seal in Senior Zhang's soul. Yi Chunfeng suddenly said, really? Bai Feng had not seen Yi Chunfeng's methods before, so he did not know how heaven-defying his methods were. However, Kong Sungchen knew about Yi Chunfeng's methods and revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. Chunfeng, I'll leave everything to you. Kong Sungchen said, don't worry, senior. I'll do my best. Yi Chunfeng nodded and promised, there's no time to lose. I'll go and break the seal in Senior Zhang's soul now. Okay. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng, accompanied by Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng, these 2 experts who could shake the entire Xingluo continent, arrived at the secret room where Zhang Biyue was imprisoned. Chunfeng, do you need us to do anything? Kong Sungchen stood outside the secret room and asked softly. No need. Seniors, you only need to guard outside the secret room. Don't let anyone disturb me. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said. After saying that, he slowly walked to the side of Zhang Biyue, who was lying quietly on a white jade bed. Her eyes were closed, and she was in a deep coma. Has this Zhang Biyue really lived for thousands of years? Why is she still so young and beautiful? Looking at Zhang Biyue, whose eyebrows were like crescent moons and eyes like cold stars, Yi Chunfeng could not help but sigh in awe. Zhang Biyue's beauty was so alluring, especially her jade-like skin that was exposed through her torn dress. Her round and snow-white skin attracted Yi Chunfeng's eyes. He could not help but take a few more glances. But soon, Yi Chunfeng got rid of all distracting thoughts. He took out a long silver needle and carefully inserted it into Zhang Biyue's head, slowly touching the restriction hidden in her soul sea. After repeatedly sensing and testing, Yi Chunfeng felt that although the restriction in Zhang Biyue's soul sea was strong, it would not explode when touched. He was relieved. He put away the silver needle and placed his palm on the top of her head. With the help of the God-Eater brain, he carefully devoured the powerful soul imprint in Zhang Biyue's soul sea that contained demonic characteristics. The restriction that controlled Zhang Biyue's soul consciousness was very powerful and mysterious, but it was no threat to the God-Eater brain. As time passed, the soul imprint in Zhang Biyue's soul sea was slowly devoured by the God-Eater brain. Guarding outside the secret room, Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng waited anxiously for a while. Yi Chunfeng walked out of the secret room and said slowly, "Fortunately, I did not disappoint you. I have broken the soul imprint in Zung Bu's soul imprint. When she wakes up, she should be able to return to normal. What's so fast? Hearing Yi Qinfeng's words, Kong Sungqin and Bai Feng opened their eyes wide and looked at Yi Qinfeng as if they were looking at a monster. They lost their composure and exclaimed, "Mobile users, please browse to Mobile Reader's homepage, this book's address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support." Chapter 802. As the night deepened, the Bai family's old residence gradually regained its tranquility. After controlling the God-Eater brain to devour the soul restriction in Zung Bu's soul sea, Yi Qinfeng went to an elegant room that the Bai family had specially arranged for him to rest. Yi Qinfeng consumed a heaven-level soul elixir. Just as he entered a state of meditation and began to refine the powerful medicinal energy, a light knock on the door woke Yi Qinfeng up. "Ziqing? Why is she here so late?" Sensing by Ziqing's aura outside the room, Yi Qinfeng immediately opened the door and invited Bai Ziqing into the room. She was wearing a silky long dress that perfectly accentuated her exquisite curves. Her skin was as smooth as jade, but her face was extremely haggard and her eyes were red and swollen. "Ziqing, what's wrong?" Seeing Bai Ziqing's swollen eyes from crying, Yi Qinfeng asked with concern. "Qinfeng, I beg you to save my brother. He's dying." Bai Ziqing bit her lips tightly and suddenly knelt on the ground, begging with tears streaming down her face. "Ziqing, it's not difficult to save your brother's life. However, it's difficult to make him recover without leaving behind any hidden injuries. It might require a lot of precious items." Yi Qinfeng gently helped Bai Ziqing, who was kneeling on the ground and sobbing, up as he spoke softly. "Qinfeng, I know my request may be a little rude, but my brother is the future hope of my Bai family. If you can make him recover, my Bai family will pay any price. I will also repay you with everything I have." Bai Ziqing looked into Yi Qinfeng's eyes and said sweetly, "You will repay me?" Yi Qinfeng looked at Bai Ziqing's delicate and beautiful face and revealed a faint smile. "Yes, I can serve you as a slave and even give you everything I have, including myself." Bai Ziqing bit her red lips tightly and said firmly, "All right, don't tempt me anymore. I have no resistance to beautiful women." Yi Qinfeng gently scratched Bai Ziqing's small nose and said, "Let's go. Bring me to your brother. I will do my best to save him." "Thank you." Bai Ziqing, who was blushing and feeling a little sweet in her heart, nodded and immediately brought Yi Qinfeng to the room where Bai Ziqing was. In the room, besides Bai Yu, who had been guarding Bai Ziqing, the head of the Bai family, Bai Qingtian, was also there. At this moment, two white-haired elders were treating Bai Ziqing and saving Bai Ziqing's life. "Brother Yi, you're here." Bai Yu, who was guarding beside Bai Tinga, immediately stood up when she saw Yi Qinfeng walk in. "Ziqing, Bai Ziqing's injuries." Yi Qinfeng nodded at Bai Yu before looking at Bai Qingtian and asking softly. Of course, Bai Qingtian already knew that Yi Qinfeng had treated Kong Sungqin and Jiang Yixin. He immediately asked the two doctors of the Bai family to move aside and let Yi Qinfeng treat Bai Ziqing's injuries. What a serious injury to his soul. When Yi Qinfeng checked Bai Ziqing's injuries with his inherited technique, he realized that the real threat to his life wasn't his physical injuries, but the injury to his soul. Bai Ziqing's soul was almost penetrated by the experts of the three major forces and was severely injured. "Qinfeng, do you have a way to save my brother?" Bai Ziqing looked at Yi Qinfeng's delicate side profile and asked nervously. "I'll try my best." Yi Qinfeng didn't expect Bai Ziqing's injuries to be more serious and troublesome than he had imagined. After thinking for a while, he took out the precious soul-nurturing wood. "Soul nurturing wood. You have soul nurturing wood." Looking at the soul-nurturing wood that contained a powerful soul in Yi Qinfeng's hand, Bai Qingtian immediately recognized the origin of the soul-nurturing wood. His eyes lit up with excitement. After breaking off a small section of the soul-nurturing wood, Yi Qinfeng spat out the black heavenly fire and melted the soul-nurturing wood. He refined a large amount of pure soul energy and fused it into Bai Qingtian Soul C to repair his severely injured soul. The ability of the soul-nurturing wood to repair one's soul greatly exceeded Yi Chunfeng's expectations. After fusing with the refined soul-nurturing spiritual liquid, Bai Ziqing's shattered soul quickly healed. When Yi Qinfeng broke off a small section of the soul-nurturing wood and fused it into Bai Ziqing's soul C after refining it, his shattered and cracked soul recovered bit by bit. All right, Bai Ziqing's soul has basically been repaired. He should be able to recover after resting for a while. As for his physical injuries, these two seniors have almost healed them. Sensing that Bai Ziqing's soul was no longer in danger, Yi Qinfeng took back the precious soul-nurturing wood and said slowly, "Thank you, thank you." Bai Qingtian felt that Bai Ziqing's soul had really been repaired, and his complexion had improved a lot. He smiled gratefully and said, "Chengfeng, we will never forget your great kindness to our Bai family. To thank you, I'll lend you this jade slip for one night." As he spoke, Bai Qingtian took out a golden jade slip from his universe ring and handed it to Yi Qinfeng. "Ziqing, send Chengfeng back to his room to rest. Bring the jade slip back to me tomorrow morning." Bai Qingtian said softly as he looked at the beautiful Bai Ziqing with a faint smile. "Yes, father." Under Bai Qingtian's gaze, Bai Ziqing, whose cheeks were slightly red, nodded and left with Yi Qinfeng. "Father, you want elder sister and Yi Qinfeng to be together?" Bai Yu asked in a complicated tone as she looked at the two of them leaving. "Yes, Chengfeng's talent and strength are the best I've ever seen in my life. If he can marry into our Bai family, not only will it greatly increase the overall strength of our Bai family, but our Bai family will also make a qualitative leap in the near future and stand at the top of the Xingluo continent because of him." Bai Qingtian nodded and said, "But father, do you really think elder sister can make Yi Qinfeng willingly stay in our Bai family?" Bai Yu asked in return. "This depends on your elder sister's charm," Bai Qingtian said slowly. He did not have much hope in his heart. "Ziqing, did your father ask you to come with me because he's afraid that I'll run away with this jade slip?" After entering the room, Yi Qinfeng looked at Bai Ziqing, who had been following him silently, and asked softly with a smile, "No, since father lent this jade slip to you, he naturally believes in your character." Bai Ziqing shook her head and bit her rosy lips. She met Yi Qinfeng's eyes and said, "Father asked me to come with you because he wants me to offer my body." Ah, looking at Bai Ziqing's tender and alluring face and hearing her bold words, Yi Qinfeng was stunned. "Chengfeng, you saved me, saved my brother, and saved my Bai family. Apart from my clean body, I really don't know how to repay you. If you want to then take me, I'll give you my body. I won't regret it." Bai Ziqing's face was red as she spoke. Her beautiful eyes were as gentle as water, and after her bold words, her heart began to beat wildly as if it was about to jump out of her throat. "Ziqing, I feel that between us, we shouldn't establish such a transactional relationship. Moreover, my ambition is to pursue the Supreme Tao. I won't let personal feelings affect my heart of cultivation." Although at this moment, Bai Ziqing's tender and alluring face was extremely beautiful, so beautiful that it made one's heart palpitate, Yi Qinfeng still adhered to his heart and spoke tactfully. He was destined not to stay in the Xingluo continent for too long. If he really did have the most intimate relationship with Bai Ziqing, it would only cause her endless harm. "Chengfeng, I know I'm not worthy of you. I only want to repay you. Don't feel too burdened in your heart," Bai Ziqing said delicately. Her moving expression made one feel pity for her. "Enough, Ziqing, you don't have to tempt me anymore. If you really want to be together with me, you have to catch up to my cultivation speed first. I am unable to accept the fact that my beauty will leave me in the future." Yi Qinfeng looked at Bai Ziqing's charming face as he softly spoke. "Come, to help you break through to the Battle Beast Emperor realm, I'll give you this 10,000-year Tao Lotus and this pseudo Tao core." As he spoke, Yi Qinfeng took out the 10,000-year Tao Lotus and pseudo Tao core and gave them to Bai Ziqing. He also gave her the heavenly treasure serpent spear that was almost useless to him. "Okay, Ziqing, I'm going to start cultivating your by clan's sacred art. If you don't mind, you can consume the 10,000-year Tao lotus and cultivate here. Thank you. Bai Ziqing held the 3 treasures that Yi Chunfeng gave her and nodded. She firmly said, I'll definitely do my best to catch up to your cultivation. I'll make you accept me and become your woman. Mobile users, please browse to Read. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading. Next time you open the bookshelf, you'll see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 803. This jade slip is actually the Bai clan's secret art, the golden body scripture. Once executed, one's entire body would be as though they were cast from gold, and their defense would increase by 50%. Yi Chunfeng quickly browsed through the jade slip and revealed a look of surprise. If he could comprehend the golden body scripture, his defense and combat strength would increase greatly, and he would be infinitely close to a mid-grade Tao artifact. Yi Chunfeng glanced at Bai Ziqing, who was sitting cross-legged on the praying mat and slowly consuming the 10,000-year Tao lotus. He cleared his mind of all distracting thoughts and controlled the God-Eater brain to imprint the golden body scripture's cultivation incantation into his mind before starting to cultivate. In order to cultivate the golden body scripture, one must first have a strong physical body as the foundation. Yi Chunfeng had already cultivated his true spirit body to the first level, and his strong physical body had completely met the requirements of the golden body scripture. In addition to the God-Eater brain's powerful analysis and deduction ability, his cultivation of the golden body scripture was much faster. Soon, a layer of faint golden light covered the surface of his skin, and his entire person became valiant and divine. Yi Chunfeng was completely immersed in the process of cultivating the golden body scripture with the help of the God-Eater brain. But Bai Ziqing, who had consumed the 10,000-year Tao lotus, was completely immersed in pain. Because she was only at the 3rd level of the Beast King realm, her physical body couldn't withstand the powerful Tao intent released by the 10,000-year Tao lotus. Her meridians and organs were all damaged at the same time, and large amounts of blood flowed out from her pores. However, in order to catch up to Yi Chunfeng's cultivation, Bai Ziqing gritted her teeth and bitterly endured. She circulated the Bai clan's secret art over and over again, refining the Tao intent released by the 10,000-year Tao lotus. She refined the Tao intent, purified her body, and increased her strength. Even though Bai Ziqing's willpower was strong and her heart of the martial Tao was strong enough, the Tao insight contained within the 10,000-year Tao lotus was too terrifying. Bai Ziqing endured inhumane pain and bitterly cultivated for over 2 hours before she gradually couldn't hold on any longer. Her meridians were filled with crisscrossing cracks, and the blood seeped out from her body, even seeped through her clothes. Her consciousness was slightly blurred. Just as Bai Ziqing was on the verge of collapse, a warm current suddenly flowed into her body, suppressing the surging energy in her body. At the next moment, Yi Chunfeng transmitted the cultivation chant of the 6 meridians' divine constellation into Bai Ziqing's mind. Guard your mind and cultivate according to my instructions. Refine the energy of the Tao lotus into your body. With Yi Chunfeng's help, Bai Ziqing tried her best to concentrate and started cultivating the 6 meridians' divine shield. At daybreak, Bai Ziqing, who had fused with enough power and with the selfless help of Yi Chunfeng, cultivated the 6 meridian godly shield to the 3rd tier of the viscera refining stage. As for the Tao intent released by the 10,000-year Tao lotus, Yi Chunfeng was also slowly suppressing it into Bai Ziqing's body. After fusing with the 10,000-year Tao lotus, Bai Ziqing's comprehension of the Tao intent of Yin had risen to the 3rd tier. Her cultivation foundation had become incomparably solid, and the bottleneck of her cultivation had loosened. She could break through to the 4th tier of the defiant Beast King realm at any time. Ziqing, you were a little reckless last night. This 10,000-year Tao lotus is so old that even a fifth-tier defiant Beast King would find it difficult to suppress the Tao intent contained within it, let alone someone like you. Yi Chenfeng looked at Bai Ziqing, who was covered in blood and had a pitiful expression, and said softly, "I knew you would save me at the crucial moment." Bai Ziqing revealed a charming smile and said craftily, "Yeah, you." Yi Chenfeng revealed a trace of a helpless smile and returned the golden body art's jade slip to Bai Ziqing. "Ziqing, cultivate the 6 meridians divine shield I pass to you. If you can cultivate to the 6th tier of the marrow cleansing stage, your physical body will undergo a qualitative leap. At that time, cultivating your Bai clan's golden body arts will be twice the result with half the effort." Yi Chenfeng slowly said, "Thank you." Bai Ziqing said sweetly, "All right, Ziqing, you look a little scary right now. Hurry up and go wash up." Yi Chenfeng said jokingly. Just as Bai Ziqing was about to leave the room, she saw Bai Feng appear in the courtyard. Her face slightly reddened, and she hurriedly bowed. "Ancestor." Looking at the pretty and charming Bai Ziqing wearing bloodied clothes, Bai Feng casually asked, "Ziqing, why are you bleeding so much? What did you and Qingfeng do in the room last night?" "Senior, don't misunderstand. We only cultivated last night and did nothing else." Yi Chenfeng rubbed his nose and bitterly smiled. "You only cultivated?" Bai Feng said with a bit of disappointment. "Actually, you could have done something else." "Yi Chenfeng, ancestor, I'll be leaving first." Bai Ziqing shyly glanced at Yi Chenfeng, then ran away as fast as she could. "Senior, may I know why you're looking for me so early in the morning?" Yi Chenfeng changed the topic as he looked at the unrestrained Bai Feng, who did not act like an old man. "Chenfeng, I don't like to owe others favors. You saved me and my Bai clan, so I must repay this debt. Here, I'll give this to you." As he spoke, Bai Feng took out a blood-red crystal that was half an inch tall and looked like a crystal and handed it to Yi Chenfeng. "Senior, this is..." Looking at the blood-red crystal, Yi Chenfeng felt that it was extraordinary and asked, "I obtained this from an ancient ruin more than 2,000 years ago. It contains a powerful sword Tao intent." Bai Feng explained in detail. "I was able to cultivate my sword Tao intent to the 7th heavenly layer because of this sword Tao crystal." Sword Tao crystal? Yi Chenfeng knew the value of the sword Tao crystal, and his eyes lit up. "After more than 2,000 years of research, I feel that this isn't an ordinary sword Tao crystal. It contains a mysterious power, but my talent is limited. After so many years of research, I still haven't been able to unravel the true secret of this sword Tao crystal. And you're the most monstrous junior I've ever seen. Perhaps you can unravel the true secret of this sword Tao crystal." Bai Feng said with a smile. "Thank you, senior. Then I won't stand on ceremony." Yi Chenfeng didn't continue to be polite and kept the precious sword Tao crystal. "All right, Chenfeng, when the time is right, we'll prepare to head to the Jasper Palace in a few days to eliminate the mastermind behind the Jasper Palace and resolve the crisis. I wonder if you're interested in going with us?" Bai Feng asked. "All right, senior, just call me when the time comes." Yi Chenfeng agreed without hesitation. "All right, Chenfeng, what do you think of Ziqing? I wish to betroth her to you." Bai Feng revealed a trace of an ambiguous smile as he asked. "Senior, don't try to matchmake me." Yi Chenfeng said with a wry smile, "I'm wholeheartedly pursuing the supreme great Tao. Before I set foot on the peak of the martial Tao, I won't let too many personal feelings affect my martial Tao heart." "Sai, forget it." Hearing Yi Chenfeng's resolute answer, Bai Feng sighed softly and said, "Chenfeng, study this sword Tao crystal well. I'm leaving." With that, Bai Feng left with a look of regret. Sword Tao crystal. Is there really a secret hidden in this crystal? Back in his room, Yi Chenfeng took out the blood-red sword Tao crystal. After studying it for a while, he closed his eyes and controlled the power of the God-Eater brain to radiate into the sword Tao crystal. This is a hidden restriction. Under the repeated detection of the God-Eater brain's soul power, Yi Chenfeng could not only feel the powerful sword Tao intent contained in the sword Tao crystal, but also vaguely felt that there seemed to be a hidden restriction in the depths of the crystal. Perhaps there really is a big secret hidden in this sword Dao crystal. However, this restriction is indeed a little strange. It's a little troublesome to crack it. Yi Qinfeng muttered to himself. While controlling the God-Eater brain to imprint the sword Dao intent, he increased the frequency and intensity of the God-Eater brain's soul power radiation to attack the hidden restriction in the sword Dao crystal. When Yi Qinfeng unleashed the soul power of the quadruple evolved God-Eater brain to the limit, a slight crack appeared in the hidden restriction in the sword Dao crystal, and a large amount of blood energy seeped out. Mobile users, please browse to Read. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.